Jalen Hurts will be in Philadelphia for years to come. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Eagles and their franchise quarterback agreed on a 5-year, $255 million extension, $179 million guaranteed, and a no-trade clause, the first in Eagles franchise history. It is amazing how much the narrative surrounding Hurts has changed in a year, notes ESPN NFL reporter Kimberly Martin.
Last year we were asking, can Jalen Hurts actually be the guy? He's got the intangibles. He's a great leader. But we know that his game needs to improve. But can he be not just a franchise guy, but a guy that can deliver a Super Bowl? Well, guess what? He outplayed Patrick Mahomes in that Super Bowl. He got the Eagles to the Super Bowl, and he deserves every single bit of that contract.
Kimberly A. Martin on First Take. The quest for Lord Stanley's Cup starts tonight among the doubleheader playoff matchups on the ESPN family of networks. The best player in the world, Connor McDavid, leads the Oilers against the Kings, 10 Eastern ESPN TV. Boston Marathon defending champ Evans Chebet of Kenya won the men's race. Helen Obiri of Kenya was the women's winner.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, bank. That's bank. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
And welcome into The Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Sportsocracy heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And you can join us in the chat each and every day. And, yeah, the number one talking point of the day, Jalen Hurts.
He makes a lot of money now.
He does make a lot of money getting the $255 million 5-year extension with the Philadelphia Eagles. How does that affect all of the other quarterback contracts that are getting ready to happen? Joe Burrow.
The angriest people on planet Earth are anybody that pulls for the Cincinnati Bengals, anybody that pulls for the Los Angeles Chargers, and anybody attached to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, but you knew. You knew that
I said this from Jump Street. Whoever blinks first gets the best deal. And I'm not going to lie to you. I think Philadelphia did phenomenally here.
I mean, they set the market. I had a problem with the number, just $51 million a year for a guy who had one really good season.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Look, the salary cap doesn't matter. We've all figured that out. All right, it's like a Sasquatch and birds. It's the great myth that the government tells us. So I don't care.
He has $179.3 million of it guaranteed, which is still $10 million less guaranteed money than Kyler Murray got on his contract.
Okay. He'll see every cent of it.
Every cent of the $255.
He'll see every cent of it. And this is – okay, for me, here's what I missed about Jalen Hurts. I have given the fait accompli of, okay, I boo-boo-kittied this, and here's what I missed. He's just a really good leader, and he's a really good team guy. Mm-hmm. And this deal screams that. Look at how much gnashing of teeth we've had with Lamar Jackson for the last however many years. How much we saw with Dak Prescott. How much we've seen with so many other quarterbacks. Did you even know Philadelphia was actively negotiating with him?
No.
There you go. It was mentioned one time. Howie Roseman said it at the end of his media availability at the Combine or the owners' meetings or somewhere. It was the last line he said while he was at the diocese. Mm-hmm. It was never mentioned again. And then just, we're serving along, regular Monday, and done. And that's how I want this to work with my quarterback. I want my quarterback to be the guy that sets the example for the rest of the team. Do I think Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the league? No, I don't. And to be honest with you, I don't think he's all that close. I think he's in the top 8. Do I think this was an overpay? Nope. No, I don't. And the fact you got it done so easily, the first couple years of this deal are so team-friendly. You can readjust things and restructure. I don't see how you could grade this as anything but the highest of an A+ for Howie Roseman, the Philadelphia Eagles, and Jalen Hurts.
Okay. I mean, it's definitely a win for Jalen. It's definitely a win for Jalen.
I feel like you don't think it's a win for Philadelphia.
I don't really know. I don't know what to expect from Jalen moving forward. Carson Wentz had an MVP-type season once.
Yeah.
And see where we're at now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're the same guy. I'm just saying.
Well, they're certainly not the same guy.
I want more. I want more of a track record of success before I give you $255 million.
And I can genuinely say I don't care even a little bit.
This was a guy who a year ago we were talking about. Is he a guy? Can he be a franchise type quarterback? And this past year was enough to prove to you, yeah, he needs to be the highest paid quarterback in the league. Well,
I don't care about
now.
highest paid. Highest paid just means you're the one that signed most recently. Yeah, guess what? If we have breaking news by the end of this day, and Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert or one of these guys that signed, yeah, guess what? He's not the highest paid quarterback anymore. That doesn't bother me. There is no drama here. And that is the reason that I think Philadelphia will be they will be a steady force in the top of the NFC for the next half decade. There's never drama here.
Mm-hmm.
You look at all these other teams that, in some cases, I think more talented. It's always a chore. No chore here. We just get it done.
Yeah. And you figured it would. Whatever whatever team, whatever Philadelphia was going to come with, you felt like they were going to be respectful.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they were.
This is how this is supposed to go. That's why all of these things are collectively bargained, because when you get to this point and you have a player, the player wants to be where he is, the team wants the player where he is, there's not supposed to be that much gnashing of teeth. We really worry too much about guaranteed money with quarterbacks like this. Is there any shot Jalen Hurts is not on his roster for the next 5 years?
No.
Full no trade. Then why do I care about the guaranteed money?
Mm-hmm.
All that does is tell you how much of this can be moved around. That's it. That's all that really changes. Now, if you're a wide receiver or a running back, especially running back, then I care about guaranteed money. This is what I feel like's been lost with Lamar Jackson and with Dak Prescott and a bunch of these other guys that have gotten into this situation. You're so worried about the guaranteed money. If you're the guy, you'll get every cent of it anyway. But nobody seems to care what's put around them. Jalen Hurts wanted everybody around him to get paid.
Well, there's a little more to it in the sense of Lamar. I mean,
is there
because you want obviously as much of that to be guaranteed as possible.
Okay, ask yourself this question.
If you don't, you're going to get hurt. And
okay, who's more of an injury risk, Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson?
Lamar.
I don't know that I agree with you.
Really?
Jalen Hurts plays a much more physical brand of football than Lamar Jackson does. He runs more, gets hit more. I mean, yeah, he's bigger. And Peyton Hillis was bigger than Barry Sanders. One of them was constantly hurt. One of them wasn't. But I guess this is what drives me crazy when we get to this point. What is the difference between $178 million guaranteed and $230? They're both generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see more than that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But then you worry about every single dollar. I don't know Jalen Hurts. I don't know anybody that does know Jalen Hurts. He didn't seem to care. He wanted what he was worth, and he just trusts the organization of, you're putting a roster around me that got me to a Super Bowl, which means, did he probably leave some doubloons on the table? Maybe. Could he have gotten a better deal if he really angled for this? Maybe. Didn't do it. And if I'm a player in the NFL, if I'm one of these ancillary pieces, running backs, the receivers, the tight ends, and you're telling me I can play with Jalen Hurts, the consummate team guy,
mm-hmm.
or I can play one of these other guys that's worried about every cent that goes into this deal and making sure I'm going to lead to the former. One of them is stable. I would say the Philadelphia Eagles right now are the most stable organization in the NFL. Sure. That was not the case 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. What changed? Jalen Hurts changed. You went from Carson Wentz, that little fun time with Nick Foles, Jalen Hurts. Now you're a Super Bowl contender. And, yeah, you won a Super Bowl with Carson Wentz, and then everything went in the toilet for about 2 years. Now you have steady leadership at the top. Do I really care about the number at the end of that sentence? No, I don't. I really do. It means absolutely nothing. I have figured out over the course of the last 3 years, the salary cap is like a Sasquatch. I see it. It's very grainy footage. Might be a bear. Might be Brian Haynes. I don't know. I can't really tell what it is. But I don't care. It doesn't matter. And now I'm looking at the way this team's going to be constructed over the next handful of years. There's not going to be a lot of change. Yeah, you'll have a guy retire here and there. Fletcher Cox is on the backside. Mm-hmm. Yeah, guess what? You're getting ready to draft his replacement. Jason Kelsey's on the backside. Yeah, guess what? You drafted his replacement last year. Cam Jurgens. This is what smart franchises do. This is great. Look, if you're a Philadelphia Eagle fan, you should be over the moon right now. And I really don't care how you feel about Jalen. You now know there is no drama around your organization until the next time we elect a president. Not the upcoming one. The next one.
Right.
There's a lot to be said for that.
There is. There's a lot to be said for that. I don't know if Jalen is due to take a step back or not. That's not my decision. Howie Roseman believes in him. So I'm going to believe in him as well. Smart franchises make smart decisions. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the numbers that are going to be coming out on these quarterbacks, because now that Jalen Hurts is getting the $51 million a year, I won't be shocked to see Joe Burrow go 55. I won't be surprised to see the Los Angeles Chargers give Justin Herbert 53.
Oh, I don't even think you're close.
Really?
Nope.
What do you think it comes in for Burrow?
I think $300 million is the starting point. And I can't tell you we're going to stop there.
Mm-hmm. 6 years. I did the math earlier. 6 years, $330 million would be $55 a year for Joe Burrow. Mm-hmm. Would you go $230 guaranteed?
No doubt. That's another. And I'll be honest with you. That's the Jalen deal, the Burrow deal, the Herbert deal. I have never for a second thought, that's going to be contentious. There's going to be a problem there. Mm-hmm. Because the teams are completely sold on the quarterback, and the quarterbacks are completely sold on the teams. Two of them have been to Super Bowls. The other one is doing everything in their power to make their guy as comfortable and as fully stocked as humanly possible. Then you get to that other one, and I don't really feel that way on any of those fronts.
Yep. Chauncey Major in the YouTube comments says he doesn't like my attitude today.
It's been that way all day.
I do. What's wrong with my attitude?
He's really been quite tedious.
Excuse me if I want one more year of proof that this is my guy before I give him $51 million.
But that's not how this league works.
No. I understand it.
And I'll be honest with you, I think Philadelphia got in front of this going, as I said, whoever jumps first is who's going to get the best deal. Mm-hmm. Because now you have a baseline for all of the others. I don't think any of the other three are taking less than Jalen got.
No. Lamar might end up getting less.
I don't know. See, to me, this just complicated that negotiation exponentially more.
Why?
Because now you have a baseline. This is a running quarterback that has the same risk factors that I do. The only difference is he got to a Super Bowl, I didn't. Mm-hmm. And if I'm Lamar Jackson, I'd be screaming from the rooftops. He had A.J. Brown. He had Devontae Smith. That's two receivers better than anything you've ever given me. And I think you're going to see for as contentious as it was, I believe now you have just poured gasoline on this fire. But good for the Philadelphia Eagles. Good for Jalen Hurts. Yeah. This is how the league is supposed to work.
Well, this is how you want your negotiations to go with your quarterback. But I don't know that I can blame guys for wanting to get more.
And I guess I can. I can't. Ian Rappaport was on the Pat McAfee show earlier saying, yeah, Lamar was offered $200 million guaranteed. If that's true, you've lost every ounce of compassion I ever had for you.
I will agree. I will agree with that.
I will rescind everything I said about the receivers. I will rescind everything I've ever said in your defense and go, you know what? I'm good. This guy's coming off a Super Bowl. This negotiation took like a month and a half. And it wasn't contentious. It wasn't put on Twitter or Instagram. Oh, I took Baltimore off my Instagram. Shut up. Good for Jalen Hurts. I like him better today than I did 24 hours ago.
Good for you. Good for you. It is the largest, cash value deal in NFL history at $255 million over 5 years.
And it will stay that way for about 1 U.S. week.
If that.
It may not stay that way for 1 U.S. day. Because I will not be shocked if you start hearing that they're getting close.
Now becomes the race of who gets it done next.
And I have we'll say a little birdie told me, I have a pretty good idea of who's next.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Just keep your eye on the ball. At Ingles, we know that big dreams don't always make it to the big leagues. But we also know that baseball, it's family. It's about building character. And as sure as there'll be some stumbles on that journey from first to home, we'll be right there, cheering you on. This is baseball, and this is who we are. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you surgery is your best option, please stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses the latest, most advanced regenerative treatments to bring lasting pain relief the natural way. Regenerative medicine harnesses your own body's healing agents to restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back. The precision treatments are done in the office with no drugs and no downtime. QC Kinetics has hundreds of clinics all over America and thousands of satisfied patients. If your joints are aching from arthritis or injury, look beyond steroids and surgery and discover the amazing possibilities with regenerative medicine. Especially this time of year, live your life to the fullest and do the stuff you love to do. If you can get relief and avoid going under the knife, doesn't it make sense to check it out? Call QC Kinetics now. 828-333-9517. It's a free consultation. That's 828-333-9517. Locations in Asheville and Greenville.
Yes, we do have availability. Those dates for how many guests?
Andrea's Boutique Hotel is the destination to tie the knot.
Oh, you want the whole property?
She needs an assistant to catch the bookings bouquets.
249 guests, huh? And 3 dogs.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Gotta turn that mic up.
Jalen Hurts, 5 years, $255 million with the Philadelphia Eagles. The average annual value, $51 million, puts him at number one average annual value over everybody in the league, just ahead of Aaron Rodgers. Most guaranteed money, he's third, behind, of course, Deshaun Watson and Kyler Murray. Now wait and see how far down the list he gets bumped with the extensions for Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert.
He'll be at least 5. He will be at least 5. And I have a funny feeling that the one that gets done first is Joe Burrow, because they have the most incentive to do that. Cincinnati has the most guys that are coming up, and you need the flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, they ain't stopping at 5 years. I won't be shocked if Burrow's deal's 10 years. Just like they did with Pat Mahomes. They restructure it every year, and they'll find a way to kick this can down the road until you can't kick it any further.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers, they don't have a lot of things that are pending. It's not really that big of a deal for L.A. I know that sounds weird to say, but it's not like you've got a Jamar Chase deal looming. It's not like you have a T. Higgins deal looming. I mean, I could keep doing that. The Chargers have a handful of guys that largely have already been paid.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, you just set a baseline. Cincinnati walks in and goes, okay, so now we know the market. You're more of a pocket guy, so your career's going to be so we're willing to go more years.
Mm-hmm.
How many you want? And I won't be shocked if he goes, I want $60 million a year, 10 years, and $350 of it guaranteed.
Jeez.
If I was his agent, I'm not touching anything less than that. Because I don't have to. All I got to do is wait a year. I know Lamar is going to get paid. I know Herbert's going to get paid. But Joe is the consummate team guy. Mm-hmm. He loves it in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm. Which is there's a lot of narrative out there that because the other big contracts are coming up, Joe will take a team-friendly deal.
And that wouldn't shock me either. I feel like Jalen Hurts took a team-friendly deal. I know that sounds insane when it's the it's the richest contract in straight money,
mm-hmm.
second most or third most guaranteed ever. It could have been more than that. I saw the number. It shocked me at first, and then I thought about it for about 5 seconds and went, that's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
$51 million a year. Doesn't seem like a team-friendly kind of a deal. But there again, the way the contract is structured, they don't have to pay out a whole lot early.
No. And then you can start playing that fun game that every team plays of just a close-up sleight-of-hand magic of, oh, see, we pay him this much, but, no, we don't. It's a bunny.
Hey.
Little bunny foo-foo.
We've converted it to roster bonus.
Yeah. And you look at the salary cap with how it's going up every single year. Now you've got the ridiculous amount of money with YouTube TV.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I feel like, do you ever go back and look at deals from, say, 20 years ago? And because I specifically remember talking about some of these guys going, oh, I can't believe they got to Sam Bradford is the one that rings in my head. Because I remember when he got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was before the rookie wage scale.
Right.
Which it's another one of those things I look at and go, how did we not figure that out quicker?
He was the last one, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're like, good Lord, this is so much money. It was a third. It was a third of what we're talking about here.
It's a different time, though. It's a different time.
Inflation.
Other quarterbacks have been paid more.
Dozen eggs is $8 a carton. Who's shocked? It's a great time to be a quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Evan Doyle says the deal's already done.
That's been a rumor in Cincinnati for a long time. Nobody's getting out of the building. We just haven't put pen to paper yet. All right. That's a very important part of the deal.
Right.
And I guarantee you, Joe got that same alert on his phone that I did, and he went, it's a good day to be me.
Yeah, he was like, oh, wait. Well, we did have a deal.
That buys a lot of costumes that I can wear to stadiums. I'm going to look like somebody trying to kill Roger Rabbit way more often now. I've never seen that movie, so I don't know if that's actually how the plot goes.
Yeah, you got it.
I mean, I knew he was the villain from...
Yeah, with his white suit. That's what you're talking about?
Yes, and those weird little glasses.
Mm-hmm. Pan Gargamel. He's shouting us out from Poland in the YouTube comments. So it's good to see you on the program again with us today. This is like 3 shows in a row.
I love it.
I feel like we're spoiled now. We're gonna need him to hang around.
Yeah, wait till you see how many people are live with us for the 2023 NFL Draft.
There's no doubt Joe's getting the money.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt Justin's getting the money. I'm still stuck on Lamar, though.
I can't figure out how this plays out. I can't. Because now the Lamar-Baltimore thing is starting to feel... This is like the couple that they've been together for a really long time, but one of them doesn't want to commit. Well, the neighbor just did. And they've been dating way less time than you have.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is the gasoline that you pour on this fire. And I didn't see a solution before this. Now, I would not want to be on the first call between Baltimore and Lamar. We couldn't agree on what you wanted 72 hours ago, and now it's $40 million higher. And he has a point.
Because Lamar wants...
I want an MVP. He did not.
Right. Lamar, this is the starting point for Lamar. You know it's got to be.
In his own head, yes.
Of course.
And for Baltimore, they're going to laugh.
And that's the only one that matters, right? That's the only one that matters. Because he's the only voice in the room.
Yeah, you're getting back to the agent thing. And
of course I am.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know that an agent would have fixed this. I've said that for a long time. Drew Rosenhaus basically actively campaigned, I'll do it for 3%. Scoffed at him. Because he thinks he doesn't need anybody in the room.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he is the most valuable player in the NFL, and everything is bearing itself out that he's not.
Right. And I believe that's kind of the role of an agent, is it not? Is to counsel him on what the best deal he can get is. They would have been able to tell him, dude, you're not getting $250 million guaranteed. It's just not going to happen. This is where I need to bring you back down a little bit.
Well, and that's the thing. You've got to have the reality check, but then you keep having things like this. Chauncey Major in our YouTube comments asked me, he said, I have a genuine question. If he doesn't come back here, where the hell is he going? I don't know.
Nobody knows.
That's the problem. I don't know. There's no natural landing spot. I have not seen a situation like this in all the years I've been doing this. The Dak Prescott thing, you knew it was going to get done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did you ever have any doubt that that's...
No.
Because nobody was going to value him that way.
Right.
Jerry's super loyal. Okay, we're making the numbers work. We're carrying this out in stereotypical Dallas Cowboy fashion. Baltimore doesn't do this. They don't overpay for anybody, and they will tap out on you a year early just to keep from overpaying you.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't figure out where the landing spot is. Tennessee, it's going to be somebody that's desperate because you're going to have to pay more than you would before.
Right.
There was no real interest around the league before this. And I just keep coming back to Tennessee going, I know that sounds bizarre, but it's really the only one that fits.
Mm-hmm. If there's a team that's going to do it, I think.
Well, somebody's going to do it because he's going to play in this league.
Sure.
I've seen a lot of it. I see the jokes that he could end up in the XFL, and he won't.
He won't.
Because trust me, if he's insulted by the offer he got from the Ravens, he would see a contract from the Ravens and go, I got paid that to take a poo on national television one time. Ran through the locker room, and that run paid me more than what you just offered me.
Indeed. He's not going anywhere.
I'm not as convinced of that.
The only
this was the thing that scared me.
No, I meant out of the league.
No. He's going to play in the league. It's a question of where.
Right.
And if you remember, we talked about this when the offseason started, is that my fear is one of these guys is going to get paid, and for as delusional as you think Lamar is right now, this will make him worse.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way he's looking at a quarterback that has won absolutely nothing in this league. And I'm talking in his mind. We're out of reality here. He's won nothing in this league. I am the same age he is. and I've won an MVP, and you're telling me I'm going to take less money than him? No way. Said the same thing with Kyler Murray. And by the way, that's when all this delusion really started. Mm-hmm. It was contentious before. Then Kyler got paid. He's smaller than me. He plays the exact same game I do, and he's getting more money than me. No way. No way. And so now I think you've gotten into a total catch-22. And I don't find it ironic that the visit with Anthony Richardson came out right after the Jalen Hurts deal. Because he'll be in Baltimore on Wednesday.
Yep.
I do not think that was ironic.
Yep. Anthony Richardson visiting with the Ravens, also with the Titans this week. So that's not dead.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm telling you. I have a lot of I got a lot of little lines out around the NFL, and nobody's telling me anything, but it's get your popcorn ready.
Yep.
Because don't be shocked if this is the weirdest draft you've ever seen for a reason that you could not possibly see coming.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. When we come back from the break, we'll get just a bit outside, and then it's time to get back up with the draft needs for all the teams in the NFL. We'll talk about Jeremy's New York Jets next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
This low humidity feeling fantastic low humidity through tomorrow, and then it kind of comes back on us for Wednesday and Thursday. We're in the 30s tonight, 30s and 40s, around 40 in the valley, 30s with the higher elevations. Sunshine Tuesday, 71 degrees, mostly sunny Wednesday, 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples is celebrating Earth Day on April 23rd and 24th. Save 15% on your purchase of $30 when you recycle tech at Staples. Offer valid 4/22 and 4/24 only. Limit 1 reward per month. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/recycling for details. Cut the cord with your old tech and recycle it at Staples.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver," unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Fuel your future at Firehouse Subs. We're locally owned and offer the best in hearty food and heartfelt service. Hiring for the Patton Avenue, Weaverville, Airport Road, Tunnel Road, and Cherokee locations. Apply in person. Firehouse Subs. Equal opportunity employer.
Spring in the South means the return of Atlanta Braves baseball.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
The 2023 Braves load up for another huge season.
The Braves play here on ESPN Asheville. For more information about contests on the station, log on to espnavl.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Yeah!
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. And, well, Jeremy, you're the golfer, so I need your guidance on how much fun we should be making of this story.
Okay.
Over the weekend, Denver Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson, a little golfing outing, to Arrowhead Golf Course in Littleton, Colorado, where on Saturday he flipped the cart over a bunker. So apparently he was looking for his ball and didn't see the sand trap and flipped the cart into the bunker.
Well, he didn't see any edge rushers coming at him last year, so I'm not shocked.
He's like, I think he needs some work on going through his
situational awareness has started to lack. So are you asking me how hard it is to flip a golf cart?
Yeah, thankfully no one was injured. So that's the main part of the story. But yeah, how hard is that to do, or how easy is that to do?
Okay. I feel like my answer will probably answer all of your questions.
Okay.
I've played golf for 20 years. I have never done that.
Never.
And I have never played golf without a beer in my hand. Ever. I have not one round in my entire life have I ever gone, today there will be no domestic lights. And I've never even come close to doing it. Now, I've seen it done, and I've laughed until I almost defecated on myself.
Okay. Well, that's...
Let me just think about it. You've driven a golf cart, right?
I have, yeah. But I've never driven one on a golf course. And I don't know how easy it is to spot the hills and the valleys and all of that. As soon as this got posted in our little group chat, or in our text thread, I think it was Patrick Holt who said, yeah, I've done that before. And so I was just curious, like, how common is this?
I saw it once. But this one didn't flip into a bunker. This one went into a pond at full speed. And it is, to this day, one of the top 5 funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Full speed. Didn't even slow down.
Nope. I was playing in I can't remember what course I was at. I think I was in Georgia. And in fairness, it was a difficult to see pond because the cart path went whoop and around.
Okay.
They didn't whoop. They just went whoosh. And I'll be honest with you, golf cart takes longer to sink than you would think. Golf clubs,
it just kind of bobs there.
No, I mean it goes down, but it's more buoyant than you would think. So it doesn't just go.
I guess all in all, we should be thankful, obviously, that Russell Wilson was not injured in this scenario. But apparently it has been confirmed that he was driving and that, yes, indeed, he flipped into a sand trap.
And rumor has it that as soon as he got off the golf cart, he went, "That's right!" My story comes from Texas. We've seen this book play itself out before. The ballyhooed recruit comes in, and everybody can't wait to see him play.
Absolutely.
Well, that took place at the University of Texas over the weekend as Arch Manning makes his debut. And I'm going to say this as nicely as I can. Wow, was he bad. I mean, bad. Good gracious, he was terrible. 5 of 13 for 30 yards against the third-team defense.
It's not good.
It's not good. So, and the funniest part of this to me is that after the game, Steve Sarkisian felt the urge to go, so Quinn's our starter.
Right.
We're good there. And maybe Arch competes for the 2. He is not unseating Quinn Ewers anytime soon.
That was supposed to be a battle, wasn't it?
And I laughed. Quinn Ewers is the 3rd best quarterback in the next draft class. You think he's going to get unseated by a 17-year-old freshman that didn't even play against high-level competition in high school?
That's part of the myth, though. That's part of the myth. Everybody wants to make out that because his last name is Manning, everybody wants to make him out to be the greatest since sliced bread.
Well,
and he went to Texas or went to the spring game this weekend and did not impress anybody.
Well, here's the thing. His last name may be Manning, but Quinn Ewers' hairstyle is mullet. So you ain't unseating that. You're not unseating that there, football royalty.
Yeah.
It's going to take you a little bit more work than what you've done so
Did you
far.
watch any spring football this weekend?
I genuinely don't think there's anything dumber in that we do. Oh, look, it's a spring scrimmage, and we're just so – it's like, okay, baseball's awful. The NBA playoffs, everybody's getting hurt. Just I need something to watch.
It's interesting to watch if you're invested in your team.
I get people that go.
And there's a depth chart battle or
I
something
totally
like that.
understand people that go.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go sit in the stadium, it's the spring, the weather's getting nice, and you want to have that fall feeling for one Saturday, I totally get it. People that make a spring game like appointment television to watch, I'm gonna need you to sit down and think about what you did. Okay, like Florida State spring game was on my television, not because I put it there, but because my television was on the channel that it didn't watch a snap of it.
You just
don't care
immediately. Flipped the
I just
TV
want-
on. You saw the what is it?
Oh, no.
Garnet and Gold game and
Yeah.
then
The only thing from the Florida State spring game that I took from it is that they kind of changed the jerseys. And they wore the sweet white helmets, which I need all of that. Let's do that more. Yeah, spring football is one of those things that I do not understand why people get so wrapped up in it.
I watched way more of the red and black game than I'm proud of.
I'm sure you did.
Hey, there was just nothing else. There was nothing else. It was either that or watch Cocaine Bear for the fourth time.
Oh, you speak no slander of Cocaine Bear.
I'm not.
We both watched it.
Of course. I looked forward to. I told Jeremy, it's about an hour away. As soon as I left here, I'm an hour away from Cocaine Bear, and as soon as I got in the door and set down my backpack and kissed the kids and said hello, my wife went, "Is it time? Is it time for Cocaine Bear?" Yes, it is.
And I will just say, as somebody that did watch Cocaine Bear, then watch the documentary of the true story, which might have been as good. In cinematic history, Shawshank Redemption, Gladiator, Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear's 3.
And I cannot wait for Meth Shark, which apparently Elizabeth Banks is currently working on.
Is it Meth Shark or Meth Gator?
Meth Gator. That's it, Meth Gator.
Yeah.
You give me narcotic critter in. I don't care what it is.
Still waiting on heroin squirrel.
No, I don't want that one. Notice I said critter, not varmint. Hashtag no varmints.
Like that's the perfect way. That's the perfect way to go. Raccoons on ecstasy.
Nope. Don't like it. I'm just the ultimate one. Drunk skunk. There goes Pepe Le Pew.
All right, here in the Sportsocracy, we are your Draftmas Central. We will be covering each and every pick of the NFL Draft live on the YouTube stream. You do not want to miss it. We are under 2 weeks away.
Oh, it said just breathe it in, man. Oh, Draftmas tree, oh, Draftmas tree.
And we've been rolling through our series here of draft needs for each and every team in the NFL. It's time to talk about the draft needs of the New York Jets. Jets.
Yeah, you don't do that right. Jets, Jets.
We had to come to this point eventually. We cover every team, so we had to do Jeremy's at some point. The New York Jets have 3 picks inside the top 45.
Oh, that feels good. 43. We also control the clock for 14 full minutes. So, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, that could be fun. If we go through day one of the draft and he who shall not be named, Captain Hiawaska himself, has not made his move to the Big Apple, just know there's 14 solid minutes that the Jets control with picks that the Green Bay Packers really want.
And at any moment, that deal will get done. I feel like that's when it'll get done.
Well,
I feel like it'll get done on day 2 of the draft.
Well, there is a report that has come out that Green Bay is starting to see it the Jets' way. They've come off. Now they're willing to give the compensate or the conditional pick.
The conditional pick. So,
but they're still really harping on we need that first-round pick next year. And no. going to be a no from me, dog.
Not going to have it. It wasn't the condition on that pick, though? If you go to the Super Bowl, it becomes a 1.
Well, they don't. Green Bay wants no conditions on the pick they're getting. They're willing to give up a pick that has conditions on it. That was a solid no 2 weeks ago, though. So we're getting closer, boys and girls. We're getting closer.
Okay, so the Jets, other than the Aaron Rodgers thing, which is going to get done, what's your biggest need beyond that?
You said his name.
What?
You said his name. His name's on conversation probation.
I'm sorry. So is Lamar.
Yeah, but that was actually irrelevant. Stephen Tao said, you sound like more like Pee Wee Herman each time he says Jets, Jets, Jets. That was going to be my response when he said Captain Hiawaska's name. No! That is the name that shall not be spoken.
Mm-hmm. So what's your biggest need beyond quarterback?
Well, quarterback's not a need because you have one. He's just not in your building yet. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. For me, your biggest need is probably not the one that everybody else thinks, and I don't think it's what you're going to take in round 1. You need a linebacker really bad. I mean, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Offensive tackle, safety, interior defensive line, and edge. And I cannot for the life of me figure out how. I think that's why the Jets are so willing to draw the line in the sand. Because there's so many players that they like. I know they love John Michael Schmitz.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the reasons that I'm so in love with him, because when that name was floated to me, I went and watched more tape, and now I like him even better than I did in the past. I just feel like at 13, you're going to end up taking one of the offensive tackles.
Yes.
There is another name that I've heard, but I don't think you can do it at 13.
Branch?
Adebawore. From Northwestern.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just got to understand how Joe Douglas looks at things like this. When in doubt, find somebody big that plays close to the ball. That's how he works. If it's a tie, goes to the lineman every time. So if one of them were to fall, I feel like Peter Skoronski's the one they want to fall.
Mm-hmm.
Paris Johnson would probably be 2, and then Broderick Jones is probably 3. But I'm not convinced that if he's the only one there, that's the one they take. Not because they don't like him. I just hear that name. I hear it a lot from analysts. I don't hear it from anybody out of that building ever. So could it happen? Sure. I have a funny feeling this is going to be – the Jets are one of those teams, and I identify these every year because I'm getting ready to submit my mock for the media contest. So I start looking for who can really throw this cattywampus? And I'm going to tell you something, and you're going to tell me I'm crazy when I say it. Don't be shocked if the Jets take John Michael Schmitz at 13.
Really?
Don't be shocked if they take him at 13.
I mean, is that not a massive overreach?
Not for me, because he's a top 12 player in my rankings.
Okay.
I mean, if you told me I got to have John Michael Schmitz or Broderick Jones, I go ahead and tell you I'm taking John Michael Schmitz 100 times out of 100.
It's just not a premier position.
No, it's not.
Historically in the NFL.
It's not. But it's a real big need for the Jets. And as time goes on, I'm getting less and less sure you're going to get him in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Jets are the kind of team that I always look for when I start doing mock drafts of, okay, there's so many variables with you that you're the one that throws the pick where we just go, wait, what? You took who? We've never seen Joe Douglas do that, but I'm not going to be shocked if this is the year.
Right.
Then you get into the second round, and that's where all the linebackers start to fall off, whether it's Jack Campbell. Deion Henley is the name that I've been told. You should really – if he's on the board when you come up at 42, 43, don't be shocked if that's your pick.
Right.
You take him, and then you call Green Bay and go, okay, we got 2 of our biggest needs. How about you it's time for us to get this done.
So the one of those 2 picks, one of those 2 second-round picks, you imagine that will be part of the deal for Aaron?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Sorry,
I think the way that's going to – and I haven't backed off what I've said the entire time. I think it will be one of the 2s this year. Eventually you get to there will be a condition on the second-round pick of if he doesn't play, then it drops to a 3. If he's on the roster, it's a 2. If you make it to the Super Bowl, it's your 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a conditional pick on top of that comes back from Green Bay. I've been very steadfast that that's how this is going to go.
The need of a safety, I have seen obviously a lot of people mocking Brian Branch out of Alabama to the Jets in the first round.
Which I would be fine with. I think that's good value because the safety class is awful, and they really need a safety. Divine Comedy asked in the YouTube comments, wait, I thought they needed a tight end. I don't know where that's coming from, but for whatever reason, every person that does this goes, well, the Jets could take a tight end. Well, they could, except they're already paying 2 of them. And one of them was real good last year, and they like him a lot. I'm not going to tell you they won't take one late. You invested a second-day pick on Jeremy Ruckert out of Ohio State a year ago. You signed C.J. Uzomah, and you signed Tyler Conklin. I cannot imagine you value that to be a need. And other than that, you're in pretty good shape. And day 3, just sit back, take a few players you like, but let the good times roll.
And just roll right along. The New York Jets looking to improve on their 7-10 season last year. And, of course, with he who shall not be named at quarterback, they're expected to do much better than that this year.
It's a great time to be a Jets fan. Just drink it in, man. Drink it in.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, Jeremy will have his bangers for the night in the NBA. Again, don't watch, just wager.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
Here's your seafood order, Mr. Willem.
Well, did you get me wild sashimi tuna?
Yes, sir.
And my Charleston crab cake, bourbon salmon, and wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa?
It's all in the bag.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Yeah!
Every Friday.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
The Biltmore Kiwanis Classic races are back. Sunday, May 21st. It's a 15K and a 5K at the beautiful Biltmore Estate. Participants will enjoy a beautiful run on the grounds of the estate, plus a race t-shirt, finisher medal, entry to the estate for the morning, commemorative race bib, and a whole lot of fun. All proceeds of the race benefit the Kiwanis Club of Asheville. For more information and to get signed up, go to BiltmoreKiwanisClassic.com. BiltmoreKiwanisClassic.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
2 NBA insiders podcasting twice a week to plug you right into the NBA grapevine.
All happening in only one place. This League Uncut, the new NBA podcast with me, Chris Haynes,
and me, Mark Stein.
Join us as we team up to expound on everything we're covering, hearing, and chasing.
Listen to This League Uncut with Chris Haynes and Mark Stein
on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
Yes, we do have availability. Those dates for how many guests?
Andrea's Boutique Hotel is the destination to tie the knot.
Oh, you want the whole property?
She needs an assistant to catch the bookings bouquets.
249 guests, huh? Oh, and 3 dogs.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
coffee store closes on.
Get them the money.
Then when you get the money, you get the power.
That watch costs more than your car.
Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Woo! What a weekend of barn-burning NBA action. Can you believe all of... Yeah, I didn't watch it either. Don't feel bad. But I wagered it, and that's what I'm imploring you to do tonight, with 2 chances to really make hay in a twin bill of NBA playoff action. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. The Sacramento Kings are 1.5-point dog tonight at home against the Golden State Warriors, over under 239.5. Okay, this is too easy. The Warriors stayed competitive in Game 1 in spite of not being able to hit water off a bridge. That's led the public to really believe that the Warriors dynasty is alive and well. I hate to break it to you, but it's not. This team is old, thin, and they are awful on the road, which is where they find themselves back tonight in Sacramento. Look, this is going to be a track meet. I'll go ahead and tell you, I'm going over in every game of this series, and I'm not sure Vegas can set the number high enough to change my mind. Neither of these teams is any good defensively, and they both can score, even if it's not super efficient. Andrew Wiggins' return in Game 1 gave me a little hope, but this Warriors team still looks clunky. The narrative has all been about how the Warriors kept it close in spite of shooting so poorly, but people seem to be missing the fact that Sacramento looked out of sorts for 3 quarters as well. Kings coach Mike Brown knows this team backwards and forwards from his 6 years on their bench, and it showed in Game 1. He knows this isn't the same Warriors team, and his team is just talented enough on the offensive end to take the 2-0 lead heading to the Bay later in the week. Give me the Kings plus the 1.5. I'll take them in the money line to outright win and over the 239.5. Next, the Philadelphia 76ers are a 10-point favorite at home against the Brooklyn Nets, over-unders 212.5. It's finally happened. It took way too long, but the Desert has finally given up on the idea that the Brooklyn Nets are any good, and that shows in the line for their Game 2 matchup with the Sixers tonight. Flat out, Brooklyn doesn't have the firepower to keep this game even kind of close. Philadelphia beat them sideways in Game 1, and that was with Mikal Bridges having one of the best games of his season. The Sixers have legit stars, and they are really tough at home when they're at full strength, like they will be tonight. Also, let it be known that Philadelphia has to be smelling a little bit of blood in the water. The weekend was brutal on Eastern Conference teams with injuries to Tyler Hero and Giannis Antetokounmpo that could completely change the landscape in the East. It's now possible that Philly could skate all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals without playing a team in their class if the Giannis injury keeps him out for any period of time. They want to get this series over with, and they're not going to play around with the hapless Nets. Give me the Sixers. I'll lay the 10, and I'm going over the 212.5. Brooklyn struggles to score, but if this game is any closer than the last one, the over should hit pretty easily. For more, follow us on all the social medias at The Sportsocracy. And as always, Green on Green is brought to you by Ingles Markets. Love the savings with Ingles? Love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
This low humidity feeling fantastic low humidity through tomorrow, and then it kind of comes back on us for Wednesday and Thursday. We're in the 30s tonight, 30s and 40s, around 40 in the valley, 30s with the higher elevations. Sunshine Tuesday, 71 degrees, mostly sunny Wednesday, 80.
I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Tyson Furniture.
At Tyson Furniture, we have a huge selection of furniture, honest values, and great service. We are a big store, and Black Mountain has wonderful restaurants and interesting shops to explore. Visit us at Tyson Furniture in Black Mountain, where beautiful homes begin.
Imagine transforming your outdoor space into a stylish and functional area for relaxation and entertainment. Imagine superior durability and longevity, ensuring that your investment lasts for years to come. Imagine whatever you'd like. Decorators Composite Decking, Railing, Balusters, and Accessories can help you create a deck that reflects your personal style and provides an inviting space for you and your loved ones to gather. Make your vision a reality. To learn more, visit decorators.com. That's decorators with a K.
Staples is celebrating Earth Day on April 23rd and 24th. Save 15% on your purchase of $30 when you recycle tech at Staples. Offer valid 4/22 and 4/24 only. Limit 1 reward per month. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/recycling for details. Cut the cord with your old tech and recycle it at Staples.
Spring fire season is here, and you are the best defense against wildfires. Make sure to have a water hose, bucket, steel rake, and a shovel for tossing dirt on the fire. Keep your phone with you in case you need help, and never leave a fire unattended. Learn more at ncforestservice.gov.
Did you know your completely free iHeartRadio app is also your home for hit podcasts? New for you this week, check out On Purpose with Jay Shetty, discussing philosophy, life, and conversations with the biggest stars in the world. Listen today on your free iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio stations.
Is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. This just in. The MRI on the injured back of Buck star Giannis Antetokounmpo came back clean. He'll continue to get treatment, and the team will continue to monitor him. Game 2 of the first-round NBA playoff series versus the Heat is Wednesday night. The Eagles' top offseason priority, a long-term deal for quarterback Jalen Hurts, is done. The Eagles and Hurts agreed on a 5-year, $255 million extension, $179 million guaranteed. He becomes the highest-paid player in the history of the NFL, and the Eagles gave him the first no-trade clause in franchise history. So it's now on to other business for Philadelphia, notes ESPN's Louis Riddick.
Now it's just getting on with the business of turning their attention to the draft, continuing to build out this roster, find some defensive help, make sure that they're shored up at running back, and trying to make another run at it. They brought back some of their veterans, guys like Jason Kelsey, Fletcher Cox wanted to come back, Brandon Graham wanted to come back. They feel like they're right there on the cusp. They were just a few plays away from winning the Super Bowl.
Stanley Cup playoffs start tonight with 4 matchups on the ESPN family of networks, including the Bruins welcoming the Panthers, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN TV.
When you're trying to hire and fill open jobs, the searching, screening, and interviewing can become its own job. You need Indeed, their powerful hiring platform that makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, FUN. That's fun. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. You are in the Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. We are seen everywhere in the Ingles studio on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. You'll also get those alerts when new content hits. We got team-by-team mock drafts going out, the 7-round A-plus mock drafts, the latest round here in the Sportsocracy. We got one more major mock draft coming next week as Jeremy will do his full 7-round prognostication.
It all has to be in by Wednesday.
The A-plus mock drafts are, if everything goes your team's way, this is the best possible draft you could get.
Atlanta debuts after this show. Can't wait to hear their fans go, but that guy's falling. And he shouldn't be. And he shouldn't be.
And it's that time that everybody's been waiting for. Every year, Jeremy puts together his list of players that he likes better than anybody else.
And this has been called a lot of things. It was originally, it was the Chase Claypool list.
Yep.
It had another name, but I can't remember what it was.
You keep switching the players.
Yeah, that's because seemingly every time I name this team after somebody, they really start to like TikTok way too much. So, Amon-Ra St. Brown, you're up.
There we go. It's the Amon-Ra St. Brown team. This is the team that of guys that Jeremy likes better than the industry as a whole.
The year Amon-Ra came out, I said he was a top 15 player in that draft. Everybody told me I was out of my mind. He was the 14th receiver taken, and every team that passed on him wishes that they hadn't. So, I'm reasonably good at this and super humble.
So today is the day that we reveal the offense for the Amon-Ra St. Brown team. The quarterback of your team, it should be no surprise.
I've only said this a couple 100,000 times.
It's Will Levis, the quarterback out of Kentucky.
I don't really get what it is that people have against him. I mean, look, do I love the fact that he looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger? No, not really. He's got big, gigantic arms.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about the only thing that scares me about him. Prototypical size, one of the biggest arms I've ever seen. And everybody just constantly goes back to but he turned the ball over too much. Yeah, because he was playing with a MAC team in the SEC, and he managed to get them to a bowl game, which might be one of the greatest feats that I've ever seen out of any college quarterback, because that roster was terrible. He's going for the Indianapolis Colts. Whether you can like that, you can not like it. It's kind of like being angry at clouds. Well, they're there, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's where he's going to go, because they see the same thing in him that I do. Now, I do feel for those of you that are new to this program, this does not mean that he is the number one quarterback in the class to me. He is my 2. Yes, he did pass C.J. Stroud. The more I've heard about that cognitive test from C.J. Stroud, the more I'm just going, I'm out, I'm not doing it.
Will Levis, he's not spicy. He's not sexy, and maybe that's
okay.
Maybe
so
that's
explain that to me. All right. So what about him's not? What about him's not sexy? Can throw a ball on a line 70 yards in the air. What do you want him to do? You want him cartwheel while he does it?
Maybe.
Oh, and by the way, he's of all the quarterbacks in this class, he's the best runner not named Anthony Richardson.
Because we're beholden. Because fans are beholden to stats. And when you don't have the stats and you didn't throw up 45 touchdowns last year and 6,000 yards or whatever, people are they'll look at that and go, oh, I don't know about him.
I am going to say the same thing about Will Levis that I've said multiple times before. If he was at Ohio State and C.J. Stroud was at Kentucky, we would be having a much different conversation right now about these two. The best receiver he's ever played with in his life was Wan'Dale Robinson, who, by the way, I really liked. Then you put him into a new offense. It's a new coordinator. He never really fit with it, but surprise, surprise, neither did anybody else, and Liam Cohen was gone in a year. So I find it funny. I saw another mock draft today that had Will Levis falling to 19 to Tampa Bay, and I about piddled in my pants. I laughed so hard.
He has been connected with the Indianapolis Colts.
And there's a reason
since the beginning of the process. And this evening on ESPN2, he is going to be featured on the Clock, which is a Manning broadcast, the Omaha Productions, where Peyton and Eli and Archie sit down and they break down the film of the quarterbacks in this upcoming draft. Will Levis is the episode today. So at 5:30 this evening, you can hear Peyton Manning, the greatest Indianapolis Colt of all time, talk about how he believes, quote, Will Levis may have been genetically engineered to be an NFL quarterback.
He was.
He makes
by the way, he's exponentially more pro-ready than Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, makes all of the tight throws in tight windows, says Peyton Manning. And if Manning sees it, then I guess Indianapolis Colts fans better get used to the fact that Will Levis is probably going to be your quarterback.
Well, and just be glad that he told Indianapolis to draft Will Levis and not to hire Adam Gase. Because his seal of approval lost a little bit with me when the Jets hired Adam Gase. Look, he's just a really good prospect. Could he bust out? Absolutely. And I got news for you. Every quarterback that's ever come to this draft could bust out. That's the reason I hate that term, can't miss prospect. I've heard that about a lot of guys, and guess what? Several of them have missed. I'm not telling you he's going to be a 10-time All-Pro. I'm just saying in terms of – there is a reason, and I know people have their own feelings about Mel Kiper. There's a reason that he has had him as his second-best quarterback in this class the entire time. Because the tape on him, when you take out the things that change, is really, really good. He's already battled adversity. I've said he reminds me more of Josh Allen than – to me, he's a combination of Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts. Because his throwing motion is a little long, but he's got an absolute howitzer. And if you look at him statistically and compare him to Josh Allen, there's a lot of where you go, man, that reminds me of each other a lot. And I like Josh Allen coming out too. So it's not, there's no throw in an NFL football game that Will Levis can't make. None.
Is he more accurate than Josh Allen coming out?
Yes. People forget that. I mean, and look, he could have a very similar career trajectory to that, where the first 2 years, through a year and a half of it, you're going, this is not going well.
Mm-hmm.
And then that switch flips and you go, oh, that's why. That's why you took him that high.
Especially if Indianapolis will get him another receiver.
And before anybody says, well, he's going to fall. Okay, name me the last quarterback with an arm like this that fell out of the top 10. I'll wait. Jake Locker went in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And his arm was not as big as Will Levis.
All right, so Will Levis is the quarterback of the Amon-Ra St. Brown team. This is the team that Flostradamus likes better than the average analyst.
Draft nerd.
Yeah. Let's go to running back. Israel Abanikanda, running back from Pittsburgh.
And I'm not going to lie, I have to give an honorable mention to Muhammad Ibrahim because once you said his name, and I almost had him in there, I felt bad about it, but I still picked the right one. Abanikanda is a guy that I've talked about pretty much all offseason long. Then he goes and runs well, and now everybody's back on him. I don't know why you dipped off of him in the first place.
Well, to me, the obvious would be tread on the tires.
And you do have some issues there.
Same thing with Muhammad Ibrahim.
No doubt. But conversely, I could say very experienced. You're probably getting what you're going to get with both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And look, at this point, one of the things that infuriates me the most when we do mock drafts, because I do answer all of the comments when we do this, is how people don't really understand how running backs are valued in this league. They're looking at you with that 4-year deal. I want you to think about how many running backs that I've seen produce, Kareem Hunt, guys like that are still readily available.
Mm-hmm.
Ezekiel Elliott, readily available. You know why? Because there are 47 draftable running backs in this class that are younger, more tread on the tires, and cheaper. So I get to a guy like Abanikanda who he didn't play nearly as many snaps as you think. How many snaps did he play in college? Just to get, you've done enough of these
I'm
with
horrible
me.
at these.
You've done enough of, you know what a lot is and you know what a little is.
2,800.
957.
What?
That's it.
Really?
Only really had 1 year where you saw, when he played as a sophomore, but he wasn't the bell cow. It was last year that you saw him with a ton of carries.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time he's ever done it. Then he comes out and runs a 4.45 and everybody loses their mind. He's this. It never stopped. That it irks me so bad when we go through this process of you watch the film, you see one thing, then you see him running a pair of shorts, and all of a sudden he's a different guy. No, he's a third-round running back, the way he has been the entire time. And people talk about the Sean Tuckers, and I'm not saying I don't like any of these guys. I just can't physically understand how you would take them ahead of him. Well, he's only 5'10". Do you realize how many of these running backs in this class are that size or smaller?
Mm-hmm.
215 pounds running a 4.45. Yeah, I think I can make that work. Now, I would love to see him be a better pass blocker. But we've gotten to a point in the NFL where running backs are a lot like bullpens in baseball. All right, you're the baseball guy, and I can't believe I'm making a baseball analogy. I'm reasonably sure I'm still drunk from last night. You have situational guys that do everything.
Mm-hmm.
This is a home run hitter. This is a guy I can put in on first down. I know he can run between the tackles, even though he's not the bulldog. He's not Najee Harris or somebody like that. But if he gets loose, it's 70 yards to the barn, and you're not going to catch him.
Mm-hmm.
Does that have a role in this league?
Absolutely.
Absolutely it does. I mean, am I going to put him in on third down and go, hey, go block a defensive end coming off the edge? No, because he will be a speed bump. But that's why he's part of a rotation. I'm not telling you he's ever going to – I'll tell you who he really reminds me of is Raheem Mostert. Because does he do all of the little intricate things? No, but it's weird. Raheem Mostert keeps finding – at 31 years old, he's still finding ways to get deals in the NFL. Because there's not that many humans on this planet that can see a hole the way that Abanikanda can. And when you get to the hole, do this much with it. And just virtually every knock I've heard on him is so painfully stupid that I can't wrap my brain around it. Well, he only played in the ACC. Coming from people that are trying to hype up Dwayne McBride to me. Like him, too. He played at UAB. So if you get into a level of competition, I'm just telling you, there's not People make the ACC sound like it's a Division II football. It's not. You still have Florida State. You still have Clemson. You still have Miami. It's still high-level talent. And this kid was, if he wasn't the best running back in the ACC, he was really, really, really close.
Yep.
And I think a smart, forward-thinking team, Philadelphia Eagles. I've done that so many times that I can't unsee it now.
Where does he go? Where is he expected to drop in?
I hear the 5th. I think he's going to go higher than that. He's one of those guys that when I talk to people that I really respect, they feel the same way I do.
Mm-hmm.
And look, there is a lot of groupthink that comes into this. It is physically impossible to watch enough tape to have a real opinion about 1,000 players. Because that's probably, if you took the 31 teams in this league, that's probably how many players are on boards combined. There's no way for one person to do that. It's just not physically possible. So whether you're going the high end with Mel and Todd and Daniel Jeremiah and guys like that, somebody else is watching this tape and communicating it to them. Now, then you get to okay, these are the 300 that you really want to watch, and you have a really good take on all of them. This is a kid that he does what I want an NFL running back to do. And I hear 1,000 names ahead of him, and then he is thrown in like the crouton in the running back salad, and it's just stupid.
They call him the tight end whisperer.
Oh, yeah.
But it's weird how the Jeremy likes this guy better than the narrative list always ends up being named after a wide receiver.
Because he's been pretty good at receiver,
It was
too.
the Chase Claypool list. Then I believe we changed it to the Michael Pittman list.
It was Michael Pittman.
And then it's now the Amon-Ra St. Brown list. So we'll continue with the wide receiver class of the Amon-Ra St. Brown team coming up next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue, 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the French Broad River. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Brevard Road northbound slow approaching Clayton Road to the Blue Ridge Parkway. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue near Edgewood Road delays both directions. Hendersonville Road is slowing between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Long Shoals Road. Also, Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road, slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
Sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Hear new music first on your free iHeartRadio app.
This is Lars. James from Metallica here. And this is iHeartRadio.
What's up? This is Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park.
We're the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
Playing now on your completely free iHeartRadio app, where the biggest stars in the world connect with you.
Meet Joe A, Hi. Joe B, Hello. And Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
2 NBA insiders podcasting twice a week to plug you right into the NBA grapevine.
All happening in only one place. This League Uncut, the new NBA podcast with me, Chris Haynes,
and me, Mark Stein.
Join us as we team up to expound on everything we're covering, hearing, and chasing.
Listen to This League Uncut with Chris Haynes and Mark Stein
on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-859-5500. That's 800-859-5500. 800-859-5500.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, We're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
Here's your seafood order, Mr. Willem.
Well, did you get me wild sashimi tuna?
Yes, sir.
And the Charleston crab cake, bourbon salmon, and wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa?
It's all in the bag.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Yeah!
Every Friday.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Find us on YouTube at thesportsocracy.com. Click the live video link. Subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. And once you're subscribed, you can join the House of Reprehensibles. You can super chat your comments as Gage Camplin has done here.
Oh, that's my role.
Nope, one job.
One job works for you because you only have one thing with buttons. I have three things with buttons.
He says, if Carter falls to 7, so Jalen Carter, if he falls to 7, do the Eagles trade up? Because that's the sweet spot for him.
I really struggle to believe that because I don't think either of those teams in front of you are tagging him. If you look at the high character upside guys that Atlanta and Chicago have brought in for their defense over the course of the offseason, I really struggle to believe that you're bringing in Jalen Carter.
But maybe since Chicago has brought in so many high character guys, they'll go, we can take a flyer.
It's possible. I don't buy it. I haven't bought it, and I will continue to not buy it. Now, we are off Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, when we come back, we'll have the James Conner list, which is players that I don't like as much as the industry does.
You hate him so much.
I really don't. I think he's one of the nicest guys in the league. It's just I get really irritated every fantasy football season when I get inundated with, should I play James Conner or Dalvin Cook? Go, stop. It just irks me.
All right, we are in the middle of the formerly the Chase Claypool list, formerly the Michael Pittman list, now the Amon-Ra St. Brown list. He keeps naming, Flostradamus names his players that he likes better than the industry each and every year. For some reason, these lists keep getting named after wide receivers. So let's talk about the wide receiver class for the 2023 Amon-Ra St. Brown list.
And if you made me wager right now, who will this list be named after 2 years from now? It would be this guy who's already been brought up in our YouTube comments by Andreas Pinckney, and his name is A.T. Perry.
Yep, wide receiver 1 on the ASB team.
I love this kid so much. Now, look, with us being Carolina affiliates, I get to see a lot of Wake Forest football. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Do you realize how many 5'11" or shorter 185-pound or thinner receivers we have in this class?
How many?
I'm looking at my top 25, and it's over half. So there are certain guys that are bigger bodied. A.T. Perry's one of them. Cedric Tillman's one, and there's another one that will be coming up momentarily. Don't be shocked if these guys go higher than you think. A.T. Perry is a massive human being. 6'4", 198, and ran a 4.47 40. And absolutely annihilated people at the Shrine Bowl, which is becoming the new Senior Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what people want from him. I can't figure out why he's so low. I see him we were talking earlier about a mock that we read that he was in the 5th round.
Yeah.
No shot. If he makes it out of day 2, I will be genuinely amazed.
So top of 3rd round is about where
I can see him
falling
going second.
Really? Okay.
When he ran that fast, because that was the biggest knock, was does he have high-end speed? And I never saw that as a question mark. I mean, the kid's he's got great stride, really long leg. I mean, if you were building a receiver out of Granite, I'm not sure it wouldn't be A.T. Perry.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he doesn't get the love for all of these little 5'8". Well, look, he's real fast. He ain't that much faster than A.T. Perry, and he's half a foot bigger. And at the point of the catch, there's nobody better in this class. I'm at the point with A.T. Perry that I was with Amon-Ra St. Brown of you're not getting this. I don't know why, and you're going to regret it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's going to go in the third round, and would it shock me in any way if he was the best receiver in this class? Nope.
Really?
Wouldn't shock me. Who's better? Who do you know definitively is better? I love Quentin Johnston. Is there a possibility he comes in the league and can't catch? Yeah, because he had big drop problems at TCU.
Mm-hmm.
His high side's Julio Jones. His low side is Alshon Jeffrey after he got fat. I mean, that is out there. I'd be remiss if I didn't point it out. I don't think that's going to happen.
Right.
But, I mean, if you're telling me I can have Jackson Smith and Jigba or A.T. Perry, I'll take A.T. Perry 100 times out of 100. And I don't have to give up the same level of draft capital to get him.
Mm-hmm. All right, number 2 in the wide receiver core.
This is a name I'm not as sure that we have talked about as much as we should.
We have not. I will tell you, we have not talked about this guy as much hype as I have seen around him. Some saying that he could be a first-round draft pick. It's Jonathan Mingo, wide receiver out of Ole Miss.
First of all, you know how I feel about Ole Miss receivers because we talked about DK Metcalf and we really talked about A.J. Brown. I'm not one that scouts by the helmet. It doesn't really mean anything to me. But when I watch Mingo, he's 6'2", 220, and then ran a 4.46. Who's that sound like? Just straight body build. Who does that sound exactly like? It's A.J. Brown. Would I be shocked if he turned into that in the league? Nope. No, I wouldn't. And I'll be honest with you, if he falls past the Tennessee Titans in the second round, they're doing it wrong. Because I've already seen that work in your offense, and I can see it work again. I feel like he gets dinged. I'm not really sure. And I think it's because he wasn't the deep threat that you would want him to be. Heard the same thing about A.J. Brown. You know I hate comps.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as that was pointed out to me, I've never been able to unsee it. And the more I watch this kid, the more I like him. And I think you get him in one of those offenses where I'm just going to get the ball in your hand and you are going to be evil to defenders that try to tackle you because this kid is really thick. I mean, this kid is $50 porterhouse thick. I mean, he doesn't even look like a wide receiver. This is one of those kids you see him in the lobby and go, he's a linebacker. Nope. No, he's not. And he's real fast, too. There's a possibility he goes in the first round.
Interesting.
There is a possibility he goes in the first round, and I'm telling you right now, watch it be the New York Giants.
Can he get the kind of separation at the next level to be elite?
I think so.
Is the question.
I think so, and he's one of the best blockers in this class. I mean, I don't get it. If I have one more person ask me about Rashee Rice, I think I'm going to pull my hair out at the root. Not because I don't like him, just because you can answer this for yourself. Next to me, he'd look like a small child. Could he go to the league and be really dynamic? Sure. 1 out of every 10 of those guys do it. And I'm looking at Jordan Addison and Zay Flowers going, well, you have a really good chance because you're so dynamic. Then you get into these Tyler Scotts and, well, they ran really fast. So did Usain Bolt. Okay. Justin Gatlin played in the NFL. Do you remember that? You know what? You know why you didn't remember that? Because he was awful.
Mm-hmm.
Just straight speed is not the only thing that makes a receiver really good. And Jonathan Mingo is a dog.
Wide receiver 3 for the Amon-Ra St. Brown team. These are the guys that Flostradamus likes better than the industry and the 2023 NFL Draft. It is wide receiver.
I'm going to tell you a little story and see if this starts to sound familiar. There once was a time that a receiver from Maryland was one that I really liked, and I told everybody in the industry that you're doing it wrong, that you aren't seeing this, because he had spent 2 years being hurt. And then he got to the league, and now that guy is Stephon Diggs. I feel like we're doing that all over again with Rakeem Jarrett. You've heard this name for 2 solid years.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's become like the forgotten guy. I've run through – I hate the mock draft simulators. Just people have asked which one's the best. That's like putting 18 dirty diapers in a room and seeing which one smells the least.
Right.
They're all bad. I mean, I give you credit for what you're trying to do. It's just, okay, there's always a guy that I can't figure out how you have him so low.
Mm-hmm.
And Raheem Jarrett is that guy this year.
4.4 speed. He ran a 4.44.
4.44.
6 foot, 192. And does he have that breakaway speed, sure enough hands to be an impact player immediately?
The only knock that I can really find, other than some production issues, is he is a little thin. 10 years ago, I'm not so sure I would have liked Raheem Jarrett as much as I do. Now I don't care. Because I feel like a smart team's going to put him in the slot. He hit 23 miles an hour on a football field at 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Next time they put up that Amazon fastest guy in the NFL tracker, see how many 23-mile-an-hours you get put up there, because I'll go ahead and tell you, it's not many.
Yeah, you get like 2 or 3.
Maybe.
Raheem Mostert and Tyreek Hill.
Yep. Look, I'm not saying he's Tyreek Hill, and I'm not saying he's going to be that level of impactful. I'm just saying this is a guy that you're going to get, I think, somewhere in day 3, and with the ball in his hand, he's terrifying. And there is a possibility that he has the same problem that Will Levis did. He was playing at a talent deficiency, which is weird because they have like 6 draftable players in the class, and there's another one on this list.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't have the depth of talent, so when you see them go up against an Ohio State, who, by the way, they kept it closer with for longer than you would have thought, or Michigan or something like that, they just didn't. Maryland does not currently play Big Ten football. They try to go up and down the field and throw it all over the yard. Well, then you come up against an Ohio State who's built to squish that. Because they're so much bigger. They're so much stronger. And I feel like he's become that hidden gem. And I find it funny that one of the first big hits at receiver I ever had was a receiver out of Maryland, and now I'm going back to the well, and I'm not sure I don't like this kid better.
So will this list be renamed after one of these wide receivers this year? It's either A.T. Perry, Jonathan Mingo, or Raheem Jarrett.
So far, since we've had this here show on ESPN, done a pretty good job with receivers.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too shabby. The Amon-Ra St. Brown team. These are the ones that at ESPN Draft Nerd Jeremy Greene likes better than the industry. We will continue with the tight ends and the linemen coming up after the break. Also, it's time to get weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
This low humidity feeling fantastic low humidity through tomorrow, and then it kind of comes back on us for Wednesday and Thursday. We're in the 30s tonight, 30s and 40s, around 40 in the valley, 30s with the higher elevations. Sunshine Tuesday, 71 degrees, mostly sunny Wednesday, 80.
I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound stop and go between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue northbound near Edgewood Road. Traffic is stop and go. Sweeten Creek Road northbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road slow. Again, Hendersonville Road northbound slows approaching Mills Gap Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. And Brevard Road northbound again slows approaching Clayton Road, continuing to the Blue Ridge Parkway near the NC Arboretum. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Stop going it alone for recruiting and staffing. Choose a local expert. Hiring is about getting to know people, not algorithms. So let the team at Express Employment Professionals hire for you. Visit ExpressPros.com to find the office near you.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest-rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. EST. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
The 35th season of Downtown After 5, presented by Prestige Subaru, returns to North Lexington Avenue this Friday evening. The season starts with Philadelphia native and Grammy-nominated artist Devin Gilfillian. With special guests Joe Lasher Jr. and Caitlin Baker. Downtown After 5 is always free and proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Yeah!
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. Time to get weird. And Jeremy, one of the best days of school.
So when it's over.
Well, obviously, last day of school was always great. But during the year, you got the slog, the everyday, going to class, and blah, 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 blah. But then one day you would walk in and you would look, and the teacher's not there. Or the normal adult who's in the classroom is not there. There's some stranger sitting at the desk of the teacher. Substitute teacher day. Substitute teacher day was always the best because you knew you were going to have one of two things happen. Either y'all were just going to be trusted to read for the next hour, or they wheeled in the television, and you knew it was movie day. Well, apparently in Mesquite, Texas, there's a little bit of a different, it was a different bit of a day for some middle schoolers at Kimbrough Middle School last Wednesday when students came in. Sure enough, there was a substitute teacher. They had this substitute teacher twice before, but something made today a little different. Apparently during class time, there became a discussion of who would win in a fight. Would it be student A or student B? Well, the teacher went, well, let's just settle this right now.
That's a horrible idea.
Let's settle this right now because we are turning this into Thunderdome, baby. Because for the next hour of the class, apparently, she came up with rules for Student Fight Club.
There's no laws in this place. Anything goes. It's Thunderdome.
She even posted one of the students at the door to be the lookout in case some administrator or someone else came down the hallway.
Let's get nuts.
There were apparently 4 sets of fights that were sanctioned by the teacher during this class time.
This is awful. Like, please tell me this teacher is not allowed to teach anymore.
She told all of the students to put away their cell phones, that if they were caught with their cell phones out, that she would take the cell phone, which I don't even know. That's like cruel and unusual punishment to kids these days, right?
Well, they think so.
Said she would take
kids these days think a lot of things that aren't true.
Says she would take the cell phones if they were out. Well, guess what? One of the students had the camera out, was filming under the desk, and you could hear the substitute teacher say, I don't want any of this on the record. Well, it got on the record, and the videos, quite disturbing to administrators in the school. They say, of course, the woman has been fired. She will no longer be allowed to teach at the Mesquite County schools. And here's the kicker. She was just hired about a month ago. Her first official day with the school system was on March the 6th. And it took until last Wednesday for her to screw that up. They said this got so bad to the point where some of the kids left the class bleeding.
Yeah, that's crimes.
Question, how did it, or why did it take the secret video being shared out by a parent after school was over for anybody to go, hey, why are 4 kids out of your classroom just bleeding? I feel like that would be hard to explain.
Do we not vet teachers at this point? The fact that
not.
she used to work for Dana White, was that not a big red flag? My story is about something annoying that many of us have dealt with in our day-to-day lives. That is a giant pothole in the road you live on.
Hate potholes.
I do too. I lived in South Carolina. Trust me, there's one on every corner. If you ever think the roads in North Carolina are bad, get to the South Carolina line and just go, whoa, we hadn't done this in a minute, have we? Well, this happened in Los Angeles. Giant pothole causing a lot of flat tires, and one resident of this particular street got tired of it. That's not really that out of the norm. It's who the resident was. It was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Nice.
And he just decided, apparently the gas company was fixing a gas line. They put in some temporary asphalt, washed away. They were going to re-asphalt it within 30 days. That's their policy. Well, they didn't come back. So he got tired of it, and he did it himself.
Nice.
And the city got a little angry because you're not supposed to do that. To which he basically replied, I was the governor of this state, so you can put it away. I don't care what you think. Now the gas company has come along. They took they took the base that he put in there. They filled it permanently, and now there's no more pothole, which sets a really bad precedence for me of if you have a problem, just go fix it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not shocked that this happened in California because I actually think that's in the state charter. If you have a problem, just take care of it yourself.
Take care of it yourself.
Let's get nuts!
Oh, Arnold patching potholes.
Arnold.
All right, Mr. Tight End Whisperer, Jeremy Greene. It's that time on the Amon-Ra St. Brown list. This is all the guys that Jeremy likes better than the draft industry.
And this one I like way better than
We are revealing the offensive team today. We'll do the defensive team tomorrow. We will not be with you on Wednesday. On Thursday and Friday, we will do the James Conner team.
Just guys that I don't like.
Yes, offense and defense.
I'll give you one guess who their quarterback is.
If you're just joining us so far on the Amon-Ra St. Brown team, quarterback Will Levis, running back Israel Abanaconda, and then the wide receivers are A.T. Perry, Jonathan Mingo, and Rakeem Jarrett. At tight end,
Will Mallory out of Miami. I've been hammered on this guy for a really long time. And the fact that they couldn't throw, I saw a lot. Now, the one thing that scares me about him, I did see a lot of give up effort. And then he went through the process. And the athlete that I thought he was is exactly what bore itself out. Because he's 6'4", 240, ran a 4.5 440. And I'm just looking at this going, a smart team's going to do this. And this will be the guy that 2 or 3 years from now, much like I said about Mark Andrews, we're going to go, how did we not see that? Because it's right there. I mean, all you have to do is hit play, watch the tape. The good's really good. The bad's a little unsettling. Now, rewind the bad and figure out how much of that was directly his fault and how much of it was Alex Van Dyke's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that quarterback that we were talking about going in the first round that he's not even in this draft. Yeah, that guy. It was bad at Miami last year. And I'll be honest with you, you see this every single year when I do this list. It's a lot of schools that are not well coached.
Mm-hmm.
That you bring in a 4-star recruit like this that I've seen the talent forever. It just never clicked. And so unlike Alabama, where you basically get what you get because it's a ready-made product when he comes out, you get somebody like Will Mallory that is, for somebody that played as much as he did, he's super raw. 58 games he played in college. Over 2,500 snaps. I think he's going to come into this league and be a dog.
And he is your, what is he, like the stereotypical receiving tight end, not a blocker? Since you used Mark Andrews, I kind of figured that's where he would
He's
fall
not
in.
a terrible blocker. It's just he's so thin. I feel like he plays that Darren Waller role. There are not many guys that are this size with this good of hands that are this fast.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the right situation, I think he could be quite the steal for somebody.
All right, let's talk about the Hogamollies.
This is the Brian Haynes part of the list.
All right. Offensive lineman. Where do you want to start? Tackle?
Yeah, we'll go tackle.
All right.
We obviously have two.
Mm-hmm.
I told you there was another Maryland player on this list, and the first one is Jalen Duncan. If you've listened to any of our coverage here, I've told you this is the one that everybody seems to just be bypassing. Because, yeah, I mean, there are a couple bad tapes on him, but, man, the good's good. The good's good, the bad's bad. And I go back to what I just said about Will Mallory. Do you think he's getting high-level instruction at Maryland? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not.
What does he do best?
He's hyper-athletic. I mean, at 6'6", 306, he ran a 5'10". In the 40, which doesn't sound crazy fast until you see him. And I'm not going to lie, I have no idea how he weighed 306 pounds at the combine because he looked like Mekhi Becton, who I think was 370.
Mm-hmm.
He's not DeJuan Jones big, but he's real big. And he's a better pass blocker right now. He is tall, which that scares me from time to time with outside prospects. There's just so much raw. I think he comes in as a swing tackle to start. I've projected him to go in the third round. Cincinnati's been the landing spot for me for as long as I can remember because he has, hey, he's going to take over for Lyle Collins in 2 years, written all over him. And if you're patient. Now, if you put him out there day one, yeah, there's going to be some bad. There's going to be some bad.
Mm-hmm.
But you coach this kid up and really you got to get the strength right. And get to work off some of these technique things because playing against high-level edge rushers, he got, and I can't remember now which one it was, but he got absolutely annihilated. And that's pushed him down the board. There was a time that I thought he was going to be a first-round pick. Has not gone that way.
Right.
But I still think he could have that level of value.
So he projects as a right tackle?
Right tackle to start. I think he play left. I think if you are patient enough with him, he can be a left tackle in this league.
Okay. Now let's go to the other tackle.
This might be the most popular tackle in this class in terms of teams wanting to get him in the building and really get a feel for who he is.
Wanya Morris out of Oklahoma.
Started at Tennessee, transferred to Oklahoma, and basically you saw the same thing out of him last year that you'd seen in the past. He's just a little sloppy. And that's really the nicest word I can say. The technique lacks at times. You can tell this was one of the highest rated recruits in the country when he came out.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell that he grew up as he is the best player on every field he has ever played on. And just the fact that I'm this big, I'm this strong, I'm this athletic, it's gotten him by. Well, then as the level of competition got better, you got more of those grinder guys that figured out, okay, I can get into the body, make an adjustment move, and he can't deal with me because he's never rounded off the technique. San Francisco. I know they've had him in the building, and I'm not so sure that he's not an ultimate replacement to Trent Williams. And and I'm not saying that because they both played at Oklahoma.
Right.
But there's high-level upside with him. Real long arms. I mean, if there is nothing from a physical body standpoint about him that says he can't be phenomenal in this league.
So you think he could be one of those one of those 3 picks at the end of the third round that San Francisco has?
I've had him there, I think, in both sets of 7-rounders I've done. And he will be in the San Francisco one that I do coming out later this week.
Okay. We'll take a quick break. When we come back,
to the interior of the Hogamollies. And if you don't know who the center is, then I don't think we even know each other.
Couple of guards. There's a center in there. Yeah, he's been mentioned a whole bunch. We'll talk about him more coming up next.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound is stop and go between Fanning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. A disabled vehicle has the left lane blocked at mile marker 38 in this stretch. Hendersonville Road is moving problem-free. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound, approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Bavard Road northbound slows between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway near the NC Arboretum. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Stop going it alone for recruiting and staffing. Choose a local expert. Hiring is about getting to know people, not algorithms. So let the team at Express Employment Professionals hire for you. Visit ExpressPros.com to find the office near you.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Yes, we do have availability. Those dates for how many guests?
Andrea's Boutique Hotel is the destination to tie the knot.
Oh, you want the whole property?
She needs an assistant to catch the bookings bouquets.
249 guests, huh? Oh, and 3 dogs.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
What's up? I'm Tyrese Maxey, 21st overall pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, a guard for the Philadelphia 76ers, and I'm doing my very first podcast, Maxey on the Mic.
Tyrese! Oh, my goodness!
We'll talk about games, catch up with some of my favorite NBA players, talk travel, food, music, who knows what else. Listen to Maxey on the Mic on the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you go to get your podcast.
Spring in the South means the return of Atlanta Braves baseball.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
The 2023 Braves load up for another huge season.
The Braves play here on ESPN Asheville.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling?
Because I love football.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. The Sportsocracy bringing you the Amon-Ra St. Brown team. Jeremy's, he likes these guys better than the industry likes them list. It used to be the Chase Claypool list. And now it's the Amon-Ra St. Brown list. We're now down to the interior offensive lineman.
And this name's going to sound a little strange because he's pretty highly rated, but I don't think it's highly enough.
At guard.
At guard. Cody Mauch, North Dakota State. I think he's first-round pick. And if he doesn't go in the first round, we're doing it wrong. Look, there are a lot of good players on the interior.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that there's another him. He was a 220-pound tight end when he got to North Dakota State. He is now a gigantic man, and he has no front teethus.
Yeah, 6'6", over 300 pounds. What does he do best?
He's so athletic. I genuinely think he could still play tight end. I know he didn't run particularly fast straight line. I don't care. He's hyper athletic. I think he's going to be an elite pull guard, run heavy teams. Philadelphia, I know they're not going to take a lineman that high, but if they did, I think he does everything well. I'm not sure he can't play tackle in the league. A lot of people are put off by how short his arms are, but he has the athleticism. I mean, I think he will do anything, whatever he sets out to be in the NFL, he's going to do well at it.
Okay.
And when I watched him at the Senior Bowl, it really just confirmed what I already thought.
All right.
He looks like a stark, raving, crazy person, and kind of like he could be related to me.
100%. Absolutely.
We do look like we could be brothers.
When he's not playing football, he is he's definitely part of some kind of a cult somewhere out in the middle of Oklahoma.
No.
Yeah.
He just likes domestic lights as much as I do. I feel very sure it's like that.
All right, the other guard on the Amon-Ra St. Brown team.
Nick Saldiveri, Old Dominion. This has been a late riser for me. Not because I wasn't high on him before. I just wasn't as high.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be a strange way for me to have been, to go back and look at the tape. When he was in that big boy buffet contest with 4 high-end recruits, Avila and Olawatimi, I didn't have him rated that high. And it's weird that that's one of the 5 that they would invite. And I went back and watched him. Yeah, it's not that weird. No, he's a dog. Originally I projected him as a tackle, not a guard. And then when I changed that, it kind of changed the way I looked at him. He needs to get better in the run game, but I think that will come with time. Just played at he played it in Old Dominion. So you're not getting Alabama level strength and conditioning. You give me a year of him in a strength and conditioning program, and he might be a big, scary monster.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get to one of my favorite names in this entire draft process.
At the center position, he has said about 800 times, I believe, already through the process here that he is the second highest graded center he's ever had. At ESPN Draft Nerd, Jeremy Greene is absolutely in love with John Michael Schmitz of the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
If you are a longtime football fan, and you come from the era that was not spread it out, 5 wide receiver offense, John Michael Schmitz is your kind of player. This dude looks like he fell out of about 1984, and I love every second of it. I think he can play in any scheme. I don't care. Just, there are not many players. There's projection with practically everybody. If this kid busts out, I don't know what I'm doing. That's how good of a prospect he is. He's all the way up into my top 20.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be shocked if he goes in the first round. Because a lot of other teams feel the same way I do. And 2 of them are in New York City.
So much like we saw Tyler Linderbaum last year, who was the highest graded center Jeremy's ever had.
Yes.
You think he can go in the first round?
I think he has more of an NFL body than Tyler Linderbaum does. Linderbaum was just so technical, and it made sense with Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there were certain places that I wasn't going to like Linderbaum as much as I did when he wound up when he went up there. I don't care which of the 32 teams draft him. That's your center for the next 10 years. And I'm not sure that he doesn't end up being Alex Mack level good.
Wow.
That is how highly I think of this.
That is some very high praise. You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. When we come back from the break, it'll be time for the daily draft, stock up, stock down from the weekend.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
This low humidity feeling fantastic low humidity through tomorrow, and then it kind of comes back on us for Wednesday and Thursday. We're in the 30s tonight, 30s and 40s, around 40 in the valley, 30s with the higher elevations. Sunshine Tuesday, 71 degrees, mostly sunny Wednesday, 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 26 westbound is stop and go between Fanning Bridge Road And the Blue Ridge Parkway, a disabled vehicle has the left lane blocked at mile marker 38 in this stretch. Hendersonville Road is moving problem-free. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound, approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Again, Brevard Road northbound slows between Clayton Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway near the NC Arboretum. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. At Blindster, we offer over 50 different custom window treatments, including faux wood blinds and shutters, all at prices less than retail. Plus, we'll send you free samples before you buy. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com. Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. At Blindster, we offer over 50 different custom window treatments, including faux wood blinds and shutters, all at prices less than retail. Plus, we'll send you free samples before you buy. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen. Let's keep moving forward.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Jalen Hurts will be in Philadelphia for years to come. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Eagles and their franchise quarterback agreed on a 5-year, $255 million extension, $179 million guaranteed, and a no-trade clause, the first in Eagles franchise history. It is amazing how much the narrative surrounding Hurts has changed in just a year, notes ESPN's Kimberly Martin.
Last year we were asking, can Jalen Hurts actually be the guy? He's got the intangibles. He's a great leader, but we know that his game needs to improve. But can he be not just a franchise guy, but a guy that can deliver a Super Bowl? Well, guess what? He outplayed Patrick Mahomes in that Super Bowl. He got the Eagles to the Super Bowl, and he deserves every single bit of that contract.
Kimberly Martin on First Take. After an NHL record-setting season, the Bruins open up the Stanley Cup playoffs against the Panthers tonight, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN TV. Captain Patrice Bergeron, a game-time decision for Boston with an upper body injury. Boston Marathon, defending champ Evans Chebet of Kenya won the men's race. Helen Obiri of Kenya was the women's winner.
When you're trying to hire and fill open jobs, the searching, screening, and interviewing can become its own job. You need Indeed, their powerful hiring platform that makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, HAPPY. That's happy. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen. He's useless. But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
It is the Sportsocracy, and you're listening on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400, and everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. See us live in the Ingles studio on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. You can join us in the chat that way. Plus, you can get all those alerts when new content hits, as well as joining us for each and every round of the NFL Draft, starting next Thursday.
We wish you a Merry Draftmas. We wish you a Merry Draftmas.
And now it's time for the Daily Draft. Top of the third hour of the program. On a Monday, it's always stock up, stock down from the weekend. And I'm going to include today as the weekend, because there's no doubt who the number one overall winner today is to me, and it's Jalen Hurts. Cashing in on the 5-year, $255 million contract with the Philadelphia Eagles, $179.3 million guaranteed. It's a hell of a deal for a guy who had one great year.
Oh, Philly fans.
They're going to pile up on me.
At Sports Think ESPN.
They're going to pile up on me.
You're going to learn what it's like to be me.
Hey.
It's like the fourth day in the last 8 that you've just been choosing violence on people.
Look, I applaud the kid. He can get that kind of contract. Awesome. Would I have done it? Probably not. But there again, I probably would have lost out on him. Somehow, some way. I'd have screwed it up. I'd have waited too long and had to pay him $65 million next year.
No doubt. My big winner of the weekend is Matt Fitzpatrick. I don't know why that kid doesn't get the respect he deserves, but he's so good. And now, I will say this. We have heard that he's tracked every shot he's ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Could we not say that again? Please. Because every time he's competitive, I hear that no less than 17 times.
Well, it is a little weird, is it not?
It's neurotic. And, I mean, he's an analytics guy. So, yeah, he tracks every shot he's ever...
Mm-hmm.
He's also just really good. Jordan Spieth had a couple shots to win it. He won the tournament last year, so I don't think I can say he's a stock down. And that first putt, the laws of gravity don't really make sense as to how that didn't go in. But Matt Fitzpatrick, he wins a major, and I just don't feel like he even – when you think of the best golfers in the sport, he never comes up.
No.
No matter how into the sport people are, his name never comes up. So I feel like this went away.
Well, because we haven't seen him win multiple events. I mean, a lot of events. He hasn't hit that stardom level.
No, but he's always competitive.
Mm-hmm. And it was a hometown win for him. Well, kind of. I mean, he is from the UK, but apparently he and his family...
vacations at Hilton Head.
He and his family for years have vacationed at Hilton Head. So this is like his home away from home kind of course. So it's pretty cool to see him win.
And you know what? It's a good day, so I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to take another winner. And they are a winner. How about the New York Knicks? Let's go. Okay. I may hate your owner, but there's still a little part of me that there is a little love still in my very decaying black heart. But first series win to open a series in like 30 years or something ridiculous like that. That may be the only watchable series. Of the 8 that we have, that might be the only one that is even a facsimile of what a playoff series should look like. Because the others are brutal. How many minutes of NBA did you watch over the weekend?
Would you like to hear it again?
There it is. That's what I thought. Mine wasn't very high. I actually forgot the Nuggets were playing, and I pulled up the old cell phone, and when I looked, they were playing a guy that I didn't know was on the team in the fourth quarter.
I was going to say you were already up 30,
yes,
and you didn't even bother at that point.
Minnesota, it will be what's that word? Not a it's your own little kind of win if you can stay within 25 in any game of this series. I don't think you will.
All right, stock down for the weekend. Spring games for this weekend. And you can't really have anybody in this slot other than Arch Manning.
Oh yeah, he was bad.
Bad showing at the at the Texas spring game, where he was what was it, 9 of 16, something like that. Awful. He was absolutely awful. Got panned by everybody who wrote up about the game.
He looked like a true freshman
Absolutely.
That played at a low. He didn't play the highest of competition.
And there's that part of me that feels bad for the kid.
He'll be fine.
Oh, I'm sure he's going to be fine. But you come out like that, fall on your face in your first scrimmage in burnt orange where people can see you, and you don't look good. And everybody's talked about how you're going to be the second coming of your uncle. And it didn't go the way that he wanted it to.
No.
So there's that. And then I'm going to go stock down for the Oakland A's. If you have not heard this story, to me it's just rather funny because the stories of Oakland's god-awful stadium keep getting worse and worse and worse. So, I mean, what was it? Last year we had, or 2 years ago, we had the flooding issue. They couldn't fix the pipes at Alameda County Stadium. And so the dugouts were underwater and the locker rooms were underwater. Well, the story this weekend came out that the visiting teams, their broadcasters, haven't been able to use the booth at all this year because they have a possum that lives in the broadcast booth. And so they've just shuttered it. Like, rather than it's California, who's shocked that you can't send where is the possum queen? Where is Tanya that I told you the story of that just barehanded the possum out of the bar in Texas last week? Where is she? Just give her a call, have her go in there, snatch that damn possum out of there, and then you'll be able to use the broadcast booth.
It's California. The only thing you're going to be able to find is somebody to make a TikTok with the possum or a recent Cal graduate to argue until it runs away.
Right. There's a possum living inside the walls of the visiting broadcast booth, and so they've just shut it down. No, I guess they have to sit the visiting broadcast team on press row with the rest of the writers.
Oh, that's lovely.
Which I'm sure is not distracting at all. Good night. Just dissolve this team.
Oh, that should have happened long ago.
Right.
I could argue you could get rid of 10 baseball teams, nobody'd even notice.
Move them to Vegas. Utah's apparently now they've got a group that wants a baseball team.
The Oakland A's could play every one of their games naked, and I wouldn't know it. And I'm just telling you, and yes, I said it that way intentionally. Wouldn't know. No clue. I can't believe – I don't want to say this, but I have to. My next stock up is the Los Angeles Lakers. If there's no Ja Morant, I may have thrown dirt on them too early.
Mm-hmm.
That team's not bad. I know Anthony Davis gets hurt. Every time somebody looks at his eyebrow the wrong way, he's hurt. And he was hurt in this game against the Grizzlies too. If there's no Ja, they will walk through this series. And the Ja injury did not look good. And they're going to be a tough out because I don't really believe in anybody else in the West outside of Denver, and I'm not sure how they'll hold up in a stressful situation. For me, there's so many that I want stock down, and I can't choose which one I want the most. I'm going to go the NBA on the whole, just so I can throw all of this in one rant.
Okay.
In one weekend, you had 6 of the biggest players in your playoffs get hurt. No telling how many of them come back. I know Tyler Hero's not.
Mm-hmm.
The MRI came back clean on Giannis, so he should be okay. I don't see Ja playing for several days, if at all. Then you have I'm gonna air quotes star, and Russell Westbrook that gets into a screaming match with a fan because apparently Phoenix has a suite on the other side of the tunnel, which doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, and of your 8 games this weekend, 6 of them were completely non-competitive. Good for you. Great start to your playoffs. Really keep telling me why you need 16 or 20 to make your playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could cut this whole round out, and I don't think anybody would care.
Fair enough. I'll go stock up from the UFC this weekend. Max Holloway won in the prelim, or not the prelim, but the main event of Fight Night this weekend, taking down Arnold Allen, who was on a hell of a winning streak, and now Max Holloway has he's boosted himself back up into the title contention in the featherweight division in UFC. So it was good to see Max get that win this weekend. And then my final stock up, stock down. I'm going to do it again. I think I do this every week, but minor league football, USFL debut.
Whoa.
And 17 people total attendance. Awesome.
Whew. And not only that, but their first down marker in the ball. Did you see this?
No.
Missed it by a solid yard. I mean, by a solid yard.
It's just so janky, and I don't understand why we keep giving this any kind of push. I get it. This is your network runs this, and you got it. It's not doing anything. The XFL's terrible. The USFL is probably worse.
Oh, they're in an absolute brawl for all.
And remember all those discussions we had? Oh, spring football, it could be a thing. No.
All right, my last stock down of the weekend, and this is a story. I'm not reporting this. I'm just telling you what was said.
Okay.
Does the name Brian Davis mean anything to you? He played on the Christian Laettner Duke team early in the 90s.
I remember Brian.
Well, apparently now he's a tech wealthy guy, and I didn't say billionaire, and there's a very specific reason. There is a story floating out that he offered $7 billion cash for the Washington Commanders.
Okay.
He's in the D.C. area.
Okay.
LeVar Arrington, former commander, very well connected in those circles, he brought this to light. I went down a rabbit hole on Twitter. So this story breaks. I don't even know if the guy's actively interested. This was just a story that came out. He was willing to do an all-cash offer, $1 billion within 24 hours of them agreeing, $6 billion more in cash within 7 days. First of all, if you're in finances at all, that should throw a billion red flags to you. Again, not reporting it, just telling you what I know. The story comes out. Sean Merriman and a slew of other professional athletes basically came out and said he was a con man. Merriman sued him for $4 million.
Really?
Because he had tried to get him to invest in some project of his. And so the reason I'm saying stock down is I don't even actively know that this guy put his name in the news for any specific reason. This could all be made up. He has been getting drug on Twitter for 48 hours just because his name was attached to this team.
Wow.
And I don't know that any of this is true.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this. There are a lot of names I know, and there's a lot of stories that make you go, oh, no, that doesn't sound good at all. Nothing about that sounds hunky-dunky.
Interesting. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. When we come back for the break, it'll be time for the most important message of the day.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
240 west and eastbound slowing on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. 26 westbound is slowing between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road, north and southbound stop and go approaching Fanning Bridge Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow south of the Blue Ridge Parkway to Mills Gap Road. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue northbound near Edgewood Road, traffic stop and go. I'm Lynn Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
Sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say keyword great results. That's pound 250 and say great results.
The new Rock 105.1, Asheville's Real Rock.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Rock the never land.
That's rock.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver." Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Just keep your eye on the ball. At Ingles, we know that big dreams don't always make it to the big leagues. But we also know that baseball, it's family. It's about building character. And as sure as there'll be some stumbles on that journey from first to home, we'll be right there, cheering you on. This is baseball, and this is who we are. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and it's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes. My story involved a few crimes, not just one. It's from the great state of Mississippi. Devin P. Mitchell riding around in a car with Olivia Neff. Apparently, Miss Neff committed a traffic violation of some kind. Disregarding a traffic device, I'm going to assume that means running a red light. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
So she runs a red light. Cops pull them over. And Mr. Mitchell realizes that he has a problem because he is in possession of methamphetamine, liquid heroin, and drug paraphernalia. And yes, I said heroin that way on purpose. But he came up with a plan because he's also a felon that had an unlicensed firearm with him. But they had just recently stopped at the Taco Bell. So, looks in the bag, he goes, what am I going to do? He decided to hide the gun in the quesadilla he had just purchased. I don't know if you've ever bought a quesadilla from Taco Bell, but it's cut into 4 pieces, and it's very obvious if you stick a handgun in it that it's a little overfilled from what it usually would be. Police searched the car. No real report on why he didn't try to hide any of the drugs in that bag. Only the gun was he concerned about. He was arrested with charges, including possession of narcotics, possession of a firearm by a felon, tampering with physical evidence, and possession of paraphernalia. Mr. Mitchell made bad decisions, did a slew of crimes, and ruined his quesadilla. Hey, it's one of the best things on the menu at Taco Bell.
The quesadilla.
Oh, no doubt. It's got the lovely sauce. It's a little spicy. It's got whether it's the chicken or the steak. Tremendous. And he didn't even get to eat that while he was waiting on the cops to figure out how many crimes he had done.
Speaking of all the crimes, there's one man who's been in jail for quite a while who is looking to get out of jail.
Is it Joe Exotic?
8 long years. No, it's not Joe Exotic. I thought he was dead.
No, he didn't die.
He didn't die?
No, he's still seeing tigers.
He's still...
Tigers are still seeing that man.
Still rotting away, though? Behind bars?
Yeah, he didn't die.
Okay. All right. The story comes to us from New Jersey, where a man named Stephen H. Smink is in prison for felony arson.
There you go.
There we go. Back in 2010, he set his favorite bowling establishment on fire.
That's not a way to go.
Never good. Never good. So he's been spending time in jail for the bowling alley arson, and his prison term expected to expire on April the 23rd. He's 60 years old, and you would think that would be cause for celebration that he's going to be getting free after 8 years. However, sheriff's officers reportedly are immediately going to take him to Atlantic County Jail in Mays Landing in New Jersey, where during his incarceration, the New Jersey State Prison and police, they uncovered that he was part of a murder-for-hire scheme that all in all also included the sale of some phony autographs. Derek Jeter and Johnny Bench autographs wrapped up in this murder-for-hire scheme. It's a very convoluted story that I won't get into all of the details, but here's the thing. Just because you've been in prison for one offense doesn't mean they can't find more to tack on to your
100%.
sentence. Or to just do like they're apparently going to do here in New Jersey is, wait, okay, so you're due to get out on the 23rd? Yep, okay, we got a bus for you. Let's go on down to the next county.
We're going to take a trip.
Where you have fawed and you're soon to foe. Again.
Don't do crimes.
Don't do crimes. This is the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville. Draftmas season is in full swing. We're actually now to the point where we're in the last 10 days of the Draftmas calendar.
It's so sad.
It's not sad. Just Friday you were talking about, I can't wait for this to be over.
Yeah, well, it's graduation goggles, okay? I'm going to miss this when it's gone.
He's been putting together all of the lists. We've taken you through all the position lists. We got the Chase Claypool list. Oh, excuse me, the Amon-Ra St. Brown list.
Amon-Ra, counting on you to carry that out. Really do the list proud.
We released the offense back at the 4 o'clock hour of today's program. Tomorrow in the 4 o'clock hour, we will do the defense of the Amon-Ra St. Brown list. This is all the guys that at ESPN Draft Nerd Jeremy Greene likes a little bit better than the rest of the industry at this point. So you will stay tuned for that. We'll have an off day on Wednesday because of Braves baseball. And then Thursday and Friday, Jeremy is going to throw more punches at James Conner, who he hates with a passion.
And Anthony Richardson. Don't forget Anthony Richardson.
And Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I think anybody that's listened to the show for more than 5 minutes knows that's who I'm going with.
Oh, that's the quarterback, no doubt, of the James Conner team. Cannot wait to see who else falls on that list of the guys that he doesn't like as much as the industry. All of your Draftmas content right here in the Sportsocracy.
After the show today, the 7-round A-plus mock draft for the Atlanta Falcons and a slew of other teams, and those will be going out all week long.
Indeed, indeed. As we count down the days here, though, I mean, is there anybody that is there any changing your mind on someone at this point?
No, I've been done. There, I mean, move a guy up a spot or two here, or move a guy down a spot, but in terms of like my top 100 board has been done for 2 weeks
and will not change.
No, I mean unless somebody gets abducted by aliens or something else untoward happens.
Off the field stuff could affect that,
and even that it'd have to be pretty bad. You know, like Jalen Carter. I know enough at this point.
Right.
I mean, unless something really drastic comes out, it's not going to sway me drastically one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. And as we go through the process here, I mean, all of the headlines seem to be all focused, obviously, on the guys at the top. Jalen Carter, obviously, is a big talking point. How far will he fall? I'm still not sure he falls
he's going to fall.
Really?
He's going to fall.
How much of a tumble do you think it is now?
I originally didn't see him getting out of the top 5. Now I could see him falling out of the top 10. I don't think that's really likely. But if Philadelphia, for whatever reason, Philadelphia traded out, then you could tumble quite a ways. and I really don't know who would be there to stop it.
All right. And as we go down the path here, certain names get hotter as the draft comes closer. Is there a name that we're not thinking about right now that could catch a lot of steam over the next 10 days?
You got to be careful with really anything that you hear at this point, because look, these teams are done too, in large part. I mean, they're in kind of the same boat I am. You can move a guy up a spot or two here or there, but big sweeping changes, that's probably not happening. In terms of, I think what you're asking me is there somebody that's going to surprise us on draft night? There's always one. I think the most likely is that you see what happened last year and there's movement on a player that's already in the league that we're not really thinking about. I just don't know who that would be. We'd at least had preliminary discussions about A.J. Brown. I mean, we didn't think he was going to trade on draft night, and we didn't think Marquise Brown was going to get traded on draft night. But that could happen again. I could easily, especially this year, teams that have a lack of talent, they fall in love with specific guys. Because you got to understand, I haven't talked to a team yet that has more than 20 first-round grades. Not one. So much like last year with the Jets when they traded up to get Jermaine Johnson, they had a top 15 grade on him. I'm not sure they didn't have a top 10 grade on him. He gets to 26. Okay, yeah, we're in. Yeah, we're in.
Right.
Because that's another first-round guy for us, and there's just not that many of those. This year it is drastically worse in that first-round grade area. So you could see things that catch you off guard. In terms of a name, I don't necessarily have one of those. I think Darnell Wright's going to go much higher than people think. There are a couple linemen that I think are going to go much higher than people think, and the receivers are going to go much later than people think.
Okay,
but that would be my biggest takeaway at the moment.
Okay, I mean, there's always one. There's always one that we look at, and I'm thinking, they're usually linemen, I think.
Well, because you just get different grades,
right? Alex Leatherwood with the Raiders.
Yeah.
I don't think he was a guy that I ever saw pinpointed as a first-round draft pick.
Oh, I did.
Jamin Davis.
Nope.
In the Washington draft.
Neither one of those surprised me in the least.
Really?
Nope. I had told you Jamin Davis was, as a matter of fact, I had Jamin Davis right. I had him going to Washington.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Leatherwood, there were other teams that were in on him. You just have to be careful about the misinformation. I have learned, I call this the Mac Jones rule. I have learned anything that you hear from today until the day of the draft, you should take with one grain of salt, and most likely anything you hear and $1 will get you a Coke, and that is all it's worth.
We will have every pick of the NFL draft covered live on the YouTube stream. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel. When we come back from the break, it'll be time again to talk about draft needs. We're going team by team, and next up, the New York Giants.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
This low humidity feeling fantastic low humidity through tomorrow, and then it kind of comes back on us for Wednesday and Thursday. We're in the 30s tonight, 30s and 40s, around 40 in the valley, 30s with the higher elevations. Sunshine Tuesday, 71 degrees, mostly sunny Wednesday, 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is stop and go. 240 west and eastbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. 26 eastbound is stop and go east of Hendersonville Road to approaching Chimney Rock Road. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Future 26 westbound is slow near Broadway Street in North Asheville. Merriman Avenue north and southbound stop and go approaching Edgewood Road. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road southbound, stop and go, approaching Fanning Bridge Road. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. I'm Lee Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Since 2010, Blindster has sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters to satisfied customers across the country with 20,000 5-star reviews and an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. Custom blinds at low prices and free shipping. Blindster.com.
From local town councils to Capitol Hill, agents who are realtors are standing up for what's right. We're here protecting property rights. Here advocating for the issues that affect our neighborhoods. Here championing fair and equitable housing for all. Because we are realtors, bound by a code of ethics, driven to serve our communities. We're here for it all. Here for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Did you know your completely free iHeartRadio app is also your home for hit podcasts? New for you this week. Check out On Purpose with Jay Shetty.
The #1 health podcast in the world, thanks to each and every one of you that come back every week to listen, learn, and grow.
Sharing his conversations with the biggest stars in the world.
There is no perfect person that you find. It's who you make it work with.
On Purpose with Jay Shetty. Listen today on your free iHeartRadio app.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. The New York Football Giants. What do they need in this upcoming draft?
The fighting Brian Haynes.
Jeremy Greene, what is the first need that they need?
Well, it's one that I'm not necessarily sure you can get in this draft. It's wide receiver. They have the greatest accumulation of threes that I think I have ever seen. Darren Waller is your one. There's no doubt. I mean, I don't think anybody would doubt that.
Mm-hmm.
That's tight end. It can be really nice. DeAndre Hopkins. That's the way I would go personally. So I just don't feel like you can address that because I don't necessarily want to throw a rookie at that. If I was going to do it, I would take an actual legitimate tight end and basically play Darren Waller as a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And then have Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson. I mean, I don't love that you lost Richie James, but you've got Isaiah Hodgins. And my question is just how many natural receivers are you going to carry on this roster? I think the biggest need that you could fill with the first-round pick is at corner because Cordell Flott weighs about 160 pounds. And if he's your 2 on the outside, I don't love your chances in a division with the guys that you have in this division.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the reasons I've had him taking a corner. It's been Deonte Banks a good number of times. It's been Emmanuel Forbes a time or two. I just feel like that makes the most sense. You asked me earlier, was there a player that could surprise you in the first round? The Giants are one of the teams I have circled as don't be surprised if they do something completely off the wall that just completely shocks you. Like take a linebacker here which I do think that's a need. I don't think it's the most prevailing need.
So it could be like Jack Campbell.
That wouldn't shock me if you just fall in love with a guy. Because I don't one of the things that makes it really hard to do mocks is when you have teams that are in positions where the guys on the board don't fit what they need.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really where the Giants are. You also mix in the uncertainty with Dexter Lawrence and the uncertainty with Saquon Barkley. All of that makes me nervous, but not enough that I feel the urge to replace one of those guys.
I was going to say, is there a thought that, I mean, what is the uncertainty with Saquon?
Well, that he won't sign the tag and that he has no intention of playing under the tag. He wants the long-term deal. I mean, all of the posturing that you hear, but I genuinely feel like that's going to get done.
I was going to say, when rubber meets the road, they'll get an extension done with him, or I'll play for $10 million.
Yeah, and I guess what I'm saying is that they're not going to take like Bijan Robinson or anything like that. I could see it being an edge. I don't think it's your biggest need. I fully believe they're going to take the best corner on the board unless there is a huge run that goes right in front of them.
Mm-hmm. And it's quite possible picking at number 25.
It is because you got Baltimore, you got Minnesota, you got Jacksonville, Seattle if they went completely off their norm and took a corner in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of teams that could – I mean, you could see – I can't remember I think the Vegas line's 6.5 defensive backs in the first round. And you could easily see the over.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get 3 in the top 12 definitively.
Yep.
There is no way that's not happening.
Yep.
And then you get into that second run. If you hit a Brian Branch, you hit the guys that I just mentioned, there could be a lot of guys off the board by the time the Giants come up. They're also a team that I wouldn't be shocked if they looked to move up.
To get after one of those no-doubt corners?
Maybe. That could be what they're after. Could be one of those no-doubt receivers.
Because they don't,
whether it's in Jigba or Quentin Johnston.
Right. I was going to say because they don't want to have to settle for Julius Brents. That was a new name I saw in the first round.
And I love him so much, and I know he's going to go early in day 2. But okay, at 17, we're somebody's been drinking the cough syrup a little bit harder than they're supposed to.
A little too much.
Somebody didn't use the cap to tell you how much you should take.
But at 25, that's where you find yourself in that realm of Deonte Banks or Emmanuel Forbes or Keely Ringo or Cam Smith.
Stop saying Keely Ringo. He's not in that tier. Way down there.
Way down there?
Third round.
Really?
Will be shocked if he goes in the first 63 selections.
Interesting. Okay.
That's how bad that's gotten.
Apparently, a lot of the industry's not caught up on that because I'm still seeing him in back into the first round, top of the second round.
Yeah, those people are doing crimes. I can't tell you which crimes, but they're doing crimes.
Okay.
The next person that says something really nice about him will be the first that I've heard in quite some time. And I'll tell you, there's a name that keeps popping up. Lucas Van Ness. If somehow he fell down to them, they had him in for a top 30 visit. And that's one of the this kind of gets a little three-dimensional chess. That's one of the things that I start paying attention to when I start getting these full lists of the ones that they've had in. It's weird to me that they had Hendon Hooker in on a top 30 visit. Is that not just completely – but for why did you do that? You just did the deal with Daniel Jones. You're not taking Hendon Hooker where you're going to have to take him. Because you'd have to take him with that first-round pick. There is no shot of them doing that. But that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's a you only get 30 of these. And you waste one of them on a quarterback. I do this with every team.
Maybe they're thinking if he slips to them in the third round.
And there's
maybe.
Well, that's at the rate we're going, that's not going to happen. But I mean, virtually everything that you see with them makes sense. It's receivers, it's corners. And there's a big, but why? And he starts seeing them interviewing or bringing in edge guys that are going to go in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And that just kind of tells me that the Giants are going to sit back, and this brain trust is not necessarily just going to shoehorn a need. They're going to take the best player. And there's a great merit to that. Some of the biggest draft mistakes I've ever seen, and I'll be honest with you, there's a potential for one with Brian Branch this year, is teams really need a guy at a specific position, and there's only one.
Mm-hmm.
And they either move up to get that guy or they take him above slot, and he just never lives up to that. I've always said, all right, I'm trying to think of a good example of this. D. Milner's the one that keeps jumping into my head, and that doesn't really – Sheldon Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
All right? He's bounced around the league. He was a top 15 pick. He was the Darrelle Revis pick. People in Jet fans have always said that was just a terrible pick, and he got arrested for speeding with a kid in the car, and he was never the same after that. No, he's been a good NFL player. He just wasn't a good NFL player for you. He probably should not have gone that high, and where you go really matters. So you catch a team like the Giants that are really casting a wide net here, and those teams become really unpredictable, and they're really hard to narrow into what they're thinking. But I feel like they have to come away from the 2023 NFL draft with a bigger receiver of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you go on the high side or you do take somebody like Jonathan Mingo. They are a team I've been told is interested in him. I feel like you got to get somebody on the interior of that line. I've long thought they're the drop dead spot on Osiris Torrance. He is not getting by them.
Yeah.
I know they really like John Michael Schmitz. I wouldn't be shocked if they try to take him there at 26. You need a corner, and then I'd like to get an edge and a linebacker at some point. It's a better roster than people think. They've drafted really well over the last few years.
Right.
Starting with an Andrew Thomas pick that we mocked openly, and that has not gone our way.
Well, you mocked it.
You mocked it too when you realized they intended on him to play left tackle.
Well, I mean,
I do still have access to all these videos.
I'm wrong sometimes.
You were less wrong than me because I openly mocked it and went, "Are you out of your mind?"
But yeah, a guard would make a whole lot of sense in this scenario for the New York Giants. We shall see.
They're one of the great wild cards.
Yep. They have the number 25 overall pick in the draft. They've got one in every round except for the 5th, where they've got 2. They got 3 in the 7th as well. You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Carolina Panthers draft needs.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 westbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge, also slow. 26 eastbound is stop and go between Hendersonville Road to approaching Chimney Rock Road. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Future 26 westbound at Broadway Street. Traffic is stop and go. North Asheville, Merriman Avenue, north and southbound crawling approaching Edgewood Road. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound is stop and go between Old Airport Road and Fanning Bridge Road in the Fletcher area. Sweeten Creek Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Shopping for new blinds? At Blindster, we offer over 50 different blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices, custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. Shop at home and order 10 free samples of any product before you buy. Blindster.com.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
Careless debris burning is the leading cause of wildfires in North Carolina. Before you burn, take a look at the weather and avoid burning on dry, windy days. Never leave your fire unattended. You are the best defense against wildfires. Learn more at ncforestservice.gov.
Spring in the South means the return of Atlanta Braves baseball.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
The 2023 Braves load up for another huge season.
The Braves play here on ESPN Asheville.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Just keep your eye on the ball. At Ingles, we know that big dreams don't always make it to the big leagues. But we also know that baseball, it's family. It's about building character. And as sure as there'll be some stumbles on that journey from first to home, we'll be right there, cheering you on. This is baseball, and this is who we are. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
Who are we going to cheer for on Sundays now?
It is ESPN Asheville, and the NFL draft is right around the corner. Next Thursday, first round of the NFL draft.
74 hours of commercial-free Draftmas.
We will have all of your coverage pick by pick in the Sportsocracy on YouTube exclusively. So go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, and you can join us as we will be live for all 7 rounds.
And we will have an announcement later in the week of how you can join us live for Draftmas.
Yes. It's going to be so much fun, and it all kicks off with the number 1 pick, which belongs to the Carolina Panthers. We know what they're going to do with the number 1 pick. It's Bryce Young. Bryce Young, the story came out today. He's already called off all of his visits elsewhere. He's already met with the Panthers. He's already met with the Houston Texans.
What's
In
funny?
the message, repeat the line. I don't need to meet with anybody else.
Yeah, I'm good. You keep your steak, Indianapolis Colts, because I ain't fitting to be there.
No, I'm either going number 1 or number 2.
He's going number 1. That's no doubt. It is. I everything short of putting it in stone. The cognitive test with C.J. Stroud really narrowed that in, especially with how much Tepper and that front office put into that.
Mm-hmm.
Where it gets interesting is, all right, so what do you do from there?
Second round pick number 39. What's the need to fill?
Well, I mean, to me, this is not a team that has – I've liked a lot of what they've done in the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for there to be a receiver there. I just don't think it's going to happen. I feel like there's a run coming on receiver that starts somewhere in the early 20s and runs through the first 5 picks of the second day. And you're talking Flowers and Quentin Johnston and Jordan Addison, maybe Jonathan Mingo. You're going to see a lot of these guys come off the board.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't necessarily know that you're going to catch a value there. I will tell you this, though. Carolina has done a great job of keeping who's been in the building somewhat under wraps. The private visits, it's really hard. It is really hard for people to not figure out who you have there. Jonathan Mingo is one of the players that they've had in the building.
Okay.
And I wouldn't be shocked if he were to fall if that was the pick there early in the second round.
To me, you definitely have to pick up a wide receiver early in this draft. You need to give another weapon to Bryce Young. Sure, you got Adam Thielen, DJ Shark. I mean, these are short-term solutions. And I don't know that there's anybody on this roster that they actually believe will be an impact player for years to come.
No, there's
Terrace Marshall and Shi Smith, and although
Terrace
if
Marshall,
you listen to Scott Fitterer, he brings up Laviska Shenault all the time.
Well, I mean, he did trade for him, so
he did.
If it doesn't work out, that's your boo-boo.
And I don't know. Maybe he's just in love with him, and the coaching staff may not be, or maybe they're all in love with him, and we'll see a bigger role for Laviska in this upcoming season.
If you look at who Carolina's bringing in, it's a slew of receivers. They even had Jackson Smith and Jigba in the building. What does that tell you? Top 30 visits. You only get 30 of them.
Mm-hmm.
You're picking at one. You do not have a pick that he could – means Carolina's a trade-up target.
Right.
If a guy falls, they want to make sure they've done their due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
He's one that I've been told they're really interested in. But he would have to slip further than I think he will. But they could be a move target. But then you look at everything else, and they're really heavy on edge guys. They're definitively coming out of the early part of this draft with an edge.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they actually think corner is a bigger need than maybe I do. I like the corners on this team, except Dante Jackson.
I was going to say.
Who I should probably call the James Conner team the Dante Jackson team, because he's another one that draws my ire a lot.
Yeah, you don't like him a whole lot. But between J.C. Horn and C.J. Henderson.
I mean, I just think you're fine there. Don't be shocked if they add somebody to the interior of that line. They had TCU's Steve Avila in that was a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's somebody that you could see with that second-round pick. I just feel like Carolina has done a good job of doing that thing that I talk about a lot. You don't have to do anything. Can you go into the season with your top three receivers being Terrace Marshall, Adam Thielen, and DJ Chark? Well, yeah. Is it the best scenario? No. It's kind of like having Hayden Hurst as your only real tight end. Do I love that? No. But if the board doesn't fall your way and one of these high-end tight ends doesn't fall to you, I'm okay with that.
It's better than what you had.
No doubt.
Or
Hayden Hurst is better than Tommy Tremble.
Better than what you still have. Because they didn't get rid of Ian Thomas. They haven't got rid of Tommy Tremble.
No. Tremble's going to end up playing way more fullback than he's played in the past.
Absolutely.
H-back.
You got Miles Sanders in the offseason. I like the moves that they have made so far. And with a great draft, they're no doubt going to be in the discussion for winning this division.
Look, there's a reason that every analyst that you hear talk about this team and talk about the quarterbacks goes, Carolina is the Rolls Royce of this draft class. As let's say Houston takes one, Indianapolis, and the Raiders or the Titans. Every one of those teams has a huge ward.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina's biggest ward is you got a lot of guys that are probably one step ahead on the depth chart of where they should be. You don't have a natural one. No, but you've got a great accumulation of 2s and 3s. So it could be worse. Tight end, I don't necessarily think you have the dynamic guy. Running back, I don't think your room is really deep, but you do have a guy in Miles Sanders that I really like. And then you get to the defense, which is already really good. You're just adding pieces to that.
Right.
I would like to see them add a safety at some point over the 3 days, but that's more of a day 3 need. Carolina's at that point where they can just take the best player available. I have a funny feeling that's going to end up being an edge pretty high after you take Bryce Young at 1. Then you'll probably catch a value at receiver at some point, throw a corner in there, call it a day. And you have a franchise quarterback for the first time in a long time.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. And, of course, we'll be back with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock, where we will, at the 4 o'clock hour tomorrow, we will unveil the defensive side of the Amon-Ra St. Brown list. All of Jeremy's best guys in this draft, or the guys that he likes better than the industry does. We'll bring that to you, plus the latest and breaking news from the NFL.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
This low humidity feeling fantastic low humidity through tomorrow, and then it kind of comes back on us for Wednesday and Thursday. We're in the 30s tonight, 30s and 40s, around 40 in the valley, 30s with the higher elevations. Sunshine Tuesday, 71 degrees, mostly sunny Wednesday, 80. I'm meteorologist Scott Laria-Moore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is crawling 26 eastbound approaching Hendersonville Road to approaching Chimney Rock Road due to an accident. The left lane blocked. 26 westbound stop and go between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. In North Asheville, Merriman Avenue, north and southbound approaching Edgewood Road, traffic is slow. Near Fletcher, Hendersonville Road southbound stop and go between Old Airport Road and Fanning Bridge Road. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, stop and go approaching Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
Sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom